Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to Freshly Grounded. This is episode 102. Guys, this is such an exciting episode. And I've had such a fun time recording it. In fact, it's currently 11 p.m. on Wednesday, and we just finished recording the episode. And as you guys know, we normally record episodes in the morning, mainly because by the evening we're normally so drained, just generally because we have such busy days. But this episode, we weren't drained. I wasn't drained in any way, shape, or form. The conversation was amazing. I had such a fun time chatting to these brothers. And also, this is the first ever podcast where we had 4 people on the mic at the same time. This episode is with the brothers from Tour de Hajj. Now, if you haven't heard about these brothers, you've been living under a rock, because in 2017 their videos went viral, and alhamdulillah, it's been amazing to hear some of their stories from there. These brothers, our brother to here, who is kind of in the middle, who's the Amir of the group. He travelled from London to Hajj in 2017 by bike. So he rode through many different countries to get from London to Hajj. And not only did that not demotivate him or put him off, he's actually doing it again this year, inshallah. And this time he's taking his little brother with him, and they're taking a group of 8 riders in total. So there's going to be 8 of them in total riding from London to Hajj. There's a bunch of description in the bio that you guys can look at to donate and to support them. I urge you guys to listen to this podcast in its entirety, because it's so interesting. The stories get better and better. There were laughs, there were tears, there were inspirational stories, and it was just an amazing dynamic, amazing 3 guys, and I'm very much so looking forward to seeing them down the line. And alhamdulillah, as you guys will hear at the end of the podcast, we'll actually be kind of documenting their journey with Freshly Grounded. We've kind of got the first part out now. Before they go on their Hajj ride, we'll hear from them again, inshallah, halfway through when they're in Turkey, and inshallah we'll get a final episode with them when they're back from their Hajj ride. And so I think that will be the first ever Freshly Grounded guest who, inshallah, we will have 3 episodes with in the same year as well. But guys, listen, you have to listen to this episode. It's very inspiring, very interesting. And again, like I said, the links are in the bio to donate to these guys' project, to help support them, and it will definitely go a long way. As you guys also know, Ramadan is, as you listen to this, you might be listening to this on Saturday night or Sunday, and Ramadan may be upon us. So guys, as with every single year, Freshly Grounded are supporting the Spot Project this year in Ramadan. Last year, the first ever year we did this, we wanted to raise 2k. Alhamdulillah, you guys blew it out of the water, and we raised so much more money than that. Last year we did it again. You guys raised over £10,000 for us. So this year we're not calling it the 2k challenge, although Spot are. We're calling it the 10k challenge, because we want to raise £10,000 for the Spot project in Gambia, where the brothers are helping to maintain a school and an orphanage in Gambia for the orphans out there, and they're teaching them such amazing stuff. I feel like I don't even have to explain this project, because we've gone over it so many times, and you guys have been on this journey with us. But to kind of give a brief overview, this project started with Abu Bakr, who just had the intention to create a school / orphanage / masjid in Gambia. He acquired some land, and alhamdulillah, by the will of Allah, him and the brothers have managed to build a state-of-the-art masjid, a school, an orphanage there for the Muslim orphans, and they're teaching them Quran and Sunnah. They're teaching them Quran. These children are amazing, and I've had the blessing of visiting the orphanage twice now, and to really spend time with these children. They're amazing kids, and there's little things that the Spot are doing that you don't get to see. But it goes such a long way. Like, for example, the idea of teaching them kind of how to brush their teeth properly, how to make sure they shower every single day, hygiene, etiquettes, how to speak to elders. These children some of these children were sleeping on foam mattresses that were ripped up with bugs, and there's 4 of them, 4 boys who are past the age of puberty, sharing a bed. And now, alhamdulillah, the Spot has been able to provide them clean bunk beds where each boy has their own individual bed. They teach them how to make their beds at the end of every day, at the beginning of every day, and they clean up after themselves, and teaching them all sorts of beautiful etiquettes, as well as Quran, as well as Sunnah. And on top of all of that, they're also teaching them skills in I can't remember what the word is, but kind of like maths, English, science, other skills like barbering and plumbing and IT, so that these kids, once they finish at the school, they can have some kind of accomplishments, they can have some skills under their belt, so they can, make a living for themselves and for their family. So they're doing a lot out there, guys. So the link for that is also going to be in the bio, but we're going to be spreading that throughout the month of Ramadan. And with that being said, last notification, guys, it is going to be the month of Ramadan now, so I'm going to be presenting the Ramadan with Iman on Iman channel once again this year, inshallah. So do check that on Sky channel 769 throughout the month. I'll be doing a lot of stuff on Iman channel, and I'll kind of give those updates as we go along. As you guys are listening to this now, I'll be on Iman channel today, Friday. Well, today, as you guys listen to this, Friday, the 3rd of May, from I think 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Then I'll be back on Iman channel on Saturday, the 4th of May, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then again from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. inshallah, or 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then again on Sunday until 2 a.m. and Monday from 2 to 5. So do give that a listen and a watch. Without any further ado, guys, this is episode 102 of Freshly Grounded with Tour de Hajj, an amazing episode, an amazing project, and I urge you guys to listen to it in its full. So without any further ado, this is Freshly Grounded, episode 102.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisu and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
After that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisu and Sam.
Really?
So alhamdulillah, we did it, guys. We're live.
Finally.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
It really goes to show that that if there's obstacles in your way, don't just quit at the first hurdle, right?
100%.
That's absolutely correct.
And people might not know what we're talking about, but it's been a bit of this is the first ever episode that we've ever done with 4 people, but we were determined to make it happen, and we didn't have a 4th mic, but alhamdulillah, one of the brothers, we managed to get a mic through, and then there was issues with that mic, and alhamdulillah, and then there was issues with the set because of the angles and everything, but alhamdulillah, we're on air, we're live, and we're kicking.
Alhamdulillah, patience, brother, patience. And Allah is the best of planners. That's what
Allah is
we
the
believe.
best of planners.
As long as you say that, it's all good.
Alhamdulillah.
Can-do attitude, pretty much since we walked in through the door.
Yeah.
That's literally what we've been dealing with.
I
So
know.
alhamdulillah, knock the tea off and you can.
Forget.
You like it? Not like brother tea.
Yeah.
You're right, boys.
Forget can-do attitude from the start of today. Like, I can do an episode like since you guys even got in touch with us, because it was Junaid, you got in touch with us, didn't you? And you weren't getting the fastest response from us. And so even how this episode happened was a bit weird.
Surprisingly, when I first emailed you, I didn't expect you to email. Like 2 minutes later, you emailed me back.
Okay.
And then we went back and forth. You go, I'm going away. And then it was like,
Where was I going?
I don't know. You just said I'm going away. And I thought, you know what, I'll let the brother go away. And then I was like, a week went past. 2 weeks went past. Then
How long is this brother gone away?
and then a podcast came out. I was like, bro, I'm sure the brother's back now, yeah. And then alhamdulillah, I was with brother Safdar. We were going to a show, and I thought, you know what, bro? I'm sitting in the car, I ain't doing nothing. Saf's driving. I said, bro, let me drop the brother an email, and then boom, my phone rang. And you know what? I just had this gut feeling that, you know what, the phone's gonna ring. And then it did ring, but it was someone else. And then you followed up with the phone call, and I was like, Saf, alhamdulillah, you know what? Allah's the best of planners. And I thought we might be on this week.
Wow.
And alhamdulillah, what's today? Thursday, yeah, we're on Friday.
Alhamdulillah. So what happened on my end is, as I was mentioning, like alhamdulillah, we do get throughout the year some requests for people to come on the podcast and stuff, and we do want to kind of sift through everything, but we're kind of at a stage of Freshly Grounded where alhamdulillah everything is growing, but the team is still very, very small. So a lot of the emails I'm personally dealing with as well, and so what happened the kind of like second or third time you emailed, or the time that we basically ended up speaking, was it was literally a matter of seconds. I was waiting for something to happen, so for a few seconds I just got my phone out, and in those seconds your email came through, and so I just opened it straight away because like the name looked familiar and stuff, and I remember we were discussing the topic a few months back, and then I just scrolled up it and your number was there, which by the way is a very, very good email kind of tactic to have, to just like paste your number there, because sometimes it's just a lot easier, right? So because your number was there, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call the brother out because I've got a few seconds and let me just like see what's happening. So I called you and then you kind of explained to me very briefly and very well, very concise
You were feeling
way.
the energy, yeah?
Yeah, I was feeling energy. And that's so important as well because your energy levels were high and I was like, you know what? Let's make it happen. Alhamdulillah, we didn't have an episode for this week and we don't like missing an episode and yeah, we made it happen.
Allah is the best of planners,
It's
like
true.
we said, bro.
It's true. So guys, listen, I did mention before that we weren't going to do introductions because we don't, but I think for the fact that there's a lot of people who are just listening to this and not watching, it kind of makes sense for us to kind of maybe briefly just give your names so that perhaps they can kind of differentiate between the people throughout this like long conversation and through your voices. So Junaid, we'll start with you.
So yeah, my name's Junaid.
Yeah.
JD. Inshallah, I'm one of the Tour de Hajj riders.
Alhamdulillah.
I'll pass it to Brother T now.
Yes, my name's Tahir Akhtar. I'm one of the Tour de Hajj riders as well.
Alhamdulillah.
With the new team this year. I was fortunate enough that in 2017 I went with the Hajj ride team.
Right.
That was a team of 8 of us as well. There's 8 of us again this time. So inshallah, yeah, we've got more countries added this time and stuff like that. But yeah, let me put you on to Safdar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Save the best till last, gentlemen. My name's Safdar, and I'm also one of the. Oh, sorry, guys. Mic check. Yeah, I'm also one of the Hajj riders. Haven't done it before. Looking forward to it. And subhanallah, today we are at Freshly Grounded, and we've got a podcast going on.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So guys, look, when in 2017, when Brother Taha, you did the Hajj ride, I remember it kind of went viral over Instagram, and that's where I saw it, and so naturally it kind of stuck out like a sore thumb to me because it said like, subhanallah, these brothers have ridden bikes from London all the way to Hajj. To perform Hajj, and you documented your journey as well, and you were doing it for charity. And so I had heard about kind of the Hajj ride back then in 2017, and I suppose ever since then it's kind of just I've not thought much about it because I don't know if you guys did one last year or not.
No,
but
we didn't. No,
okay,
that's why this got set up now
right,
this year.
okay.
Actually, yeah.
So let's start there in 2017. So what happened, and what made you make that decision, and then I suppose we'll go into kind of how it went.
Alhamdulillah. Well, it was 2017, and funnily enough, I had in 2014, I was sat on my prayer mat and I was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me some guidance because I was running around seeing this sheikh and this person, etc., trying to get answers for things in my life that were going on with me. So I was sat there and I was having a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just obviously by myself, saying, Ya Allah, you spoke to Musa alayhi salam. Why can't you just speak to me? I'm not going to talk to anyone about this. I just need some answers, and I don't really want to go around running around finding answers and stuff. So I love that my eyes fell on. I've got a picture of the Kaaba and a picture of Masjid Nabawi on my wall, and alhamdulillah, my eyes fell on the Kaaba, and the kind of the stronger voice in my head was saying to me, "That's where you're gonna, you need to go to Hajj. You need to go to Saudi Arabia. You need to go to the Kaaba." And also the Masjid Nabawi as well, but I still wasn't quite there, and I was still sort of having a bit of trying to have a conversation and with Allah, in my own mind, saying, "Ya Allah, please help me," and I need more answers. I need you to talk to me. And then my eyes fell on the Quran, and alhamdulillah, I picked up the Quran whilst I was still sat on the prayer mat, and the answers that I was looking for, I actually just literally opened up the Quran, said Bismillah, and opened up the Quran, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, opened it up in whatever page it was going to open up at, put my finger on a verse, and I got back answers by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking to me now, and I was in tears.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, you know what, I've got to get to Saudi Arabia. And
Akbar.
financially at that time, I couldn't afford it. And I thought to myself, well, I've got legs, I can walk. And then I thought, well, actually, cycling is going to be faster, so I could cycle. And alhamdulillah, this was just thoughts that were going through my mind. And I was working at a friend's place, Autoworks in Maidenhead, a car body specialist. He does Lamborghini Ferraris, all these high-end cars, but he's a very good brother. I've known him since school days. And I help him out whenever he needs some help. So when I got there that day, I said to him, bro, I've had this like kind of thing going on with me, and I need to get to Saudi Arabia, man. I need to go. So he goes, our prayers are with you. Bismillah, bro. When you think of going? I said, I'm thinking of like cycling, bro. And he goes, I wouldn't put it past you, because like I used to kind of do little, things that people always go, well,
A little bit outlandish.
Well, before then, were you like a regular cyclist?
I hadn't been for it, like, honestly, up until about the age of 20, 21, I did cycle a lot. Obviously, when I got my driver's license, I kind of edged off a little bit.
Fine.
I lost my license a little while after because I used to like racing around a little bit. And I lost my driver's license when I was roughly about 20, 21, something like that, for a little while. About a year and a half. And that year, I actually cycled more. And I used to love cycling. I started cycling as far back as I can remember, sort of 3 years old on a tricycle, pushing a mate around the block, that sort of thing, and then get onto 2 wheels and whatever. And then the BMX craze came in about the 80s. I was born in 74.
Okay.
So like kind of 80, mid 80s roughly. I was out on a BMX, and then from there for the next 4 or 5 years, because we didn't have mobile phones then, it was a case of like, if I was going to call one of my friends up, I'd have to pick up the landline, and I'd be expecting their father to pick up the phone, which was going to be like, oh my God, his dad's picked up the phone.
Right.
He's giving away his age now, man.
Yeah. Well, 21. Alhamdulillah. Age is. Yeah, it does. It does make a difference. It does. Honestly, I think that, obviously, like you have like the 17, 18, roughly 21s or 30. And then 40, and then like you're getting close to 50, and you're
definitely giving it.
Yeah. So, but I think the most important thing is the exercise, and what I learned from this, that So anyway, I'll take it back to where I went to the garage.
No
right?
problem.
So I went to the garage, and I said to Abby, I'm gonna cycle, bro. And he said, Alhamdulillah, bro. He goes, that's what have you got a plan or anything like that? I said, bro, I'm just gonna jump on my bike and just go, bro. I'm just gonna head there. I'm going. People used to walk back in the day. It used to take 6 months. So then I put it to my brother. Safdar and that, and I said to him, bro, I'm thinking of cycling to
So are you guys
Saudi
brothers?
Arabia.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, blood, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Bro,
Yeah.
Oh, alhamdulillah. You guys don't look alike at all.
Yeah, it's
He's
long
the
hair.
better
That's what it is.
looker.
This is long hair.
Do you know what I'm going to do actually? Throughout this episode, I'm actually going to stick my headphones on because we've not used this many mics before, so I want to make sure we don't lose any audio. So forgive me if it sounds like I'm not listening to anything. I'm listening to you guys.
No worries,
Cool.
brother, no worries. So, alhamdulillah, I had this thought to myself, and I said to my brother, look, I'm thinking to go to Hajj. And he said, look, if you're going on your bike, I want to come, I'm coming with you. So I always had this partner, alhamdulillah, in life that, whenever I wanted to do something positive, I always had someone with me, and alhamdulillah, I happened to be a brother, which was even, better than that. And, and then there was another brother as well, Murtaza, and I kind of put it to him, and he said, you know what, I'll take time off work as well. Us trio, we can go together, and we'll just go. So alhamdulillah, and I didn't actually know at the time, this was amazing, because what happened here was, I think it was like a kind of a Thursday, Friday or something like that, but it was getting close to the weekend. And on the Saturday, I went in to see my uncle, and I was just chatting to him about business and just saying, look, uncle, I didn't even bring up the conversation of cycling to Hajj yet, because I thought, they're going to think, well, these guys are nuts.
Yeah, of course, crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, and this absolutely gobsmacked me, because I thought, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's just absolutely amazing in so many ways. And I'm so blessed to be a Muslim, because I'm sat there, and uncle said to me, he goes, son, we got a load of tickets and we're going to Umrah. And he goes, it so happens that mum's ticket, something rather to do with her passport or something, visa, or something wasn't right with it anyway. So she couldn't go, even though they had the ticket there and a place already booked and everything else. So he said to me, do you want to come to Umrah? And I was like, whoa. Right. I literally thought about this like 2 days ago. And I'm already being asked whether I'm going to be going. And it was booked to go like in another 5 days' time. Wow. So there's me now having to go and get the injections or whatever to kind of get ready to go. And I was thinking, wow, subhanallah. And alhamdulillah, my brother ended up going then, and other family members as well. And so I ended up going. So the bike thing got put to the side, right? Because I ended up getting, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew what was in my heart, right? And I'll tell you what, it makes your iman so much more stronger when you realize that actually, one second, I had no idea that the family members were going, and all of a sudden it's come out the book, and within like 10 days, I'm looking at the Kaaba, and I'm bawling out with tears, thinking, I could, the mercy, and I feel like crying right now because of it. Honestly, it was just absolutely amazing that happened, and then so we ended up doing Umrah, alhamdulillah. Went to Medina and felt the blessed place. I felt like I left a piece of myself when I left there and came back to the UK. And I got back, and this was like 2014. So 2017, it was late 2016, early 2017. I saw something come up on social media or something like that. And it was with regards cycling to Hajj, and Hajj ride. I thought, interesting. Let's apply for this. So I put an application in, sent in the application form. And alhamdulillah, I got a call back, and they said to me, at first it was just a telephone conversation. So, I mean, on the telephone, you can have a conversation with someone and you can't really judge how old they are, I suppose, you know, sort of thing. So, the funny thing was that actually they hadn't selected yet. There was just a case of, do you ride? I said, well, I haven't ridden in quite a few years, because about 2021 I kind of stopped, but I had little goes here and there as we went along. But so I said to him, I haven't ridden for a little while, got a lot of dust on the bike anyway, but I can ride a bike, you know, it's not a problem. I know I could ride, but long distance was another case. He said, what's the longest ride you've done? One of the brothers that was interviewing me on the phone. I said, 50 miles is the most I've done, and that was on a mountain bike for Pakistan earthquake appeal, raising some funds for that. So he said, okay. He goes, have you got a bike? I said, look, I'm going to have to go check it out. But yeah, I have got a bike. And I haven't got a road bike. They go on races and stuff like that, which is road bike. I got a mountain bike. He goes, look, just get on your mountain bike, download an application called Strava. It's going to keep your distance and your timings and, you know, calories burnt, etc. on it. So I said, okay, cool, no worries, I'll do that. So I downloaded it, got on my bicycle, and I went for a 16-mile ride. But on this ride, between, you know, now the world can hear about it, but at that time, right, I had to keep it quiet. I was like, man, I shouldn't be going through so much pain. But I actually pushed myself as much as I could, and I didn't physically feel sick, but I got 5 stitches en route. And what I heard once was that if you get a stitch, you carry on, and it comes out. And alhamdulillah, that's what I actually learned the harder way, but yes, it does. And I carried on. I got one in the ribs, and one under the ribs, and then it twisted under the stomach, and then one, you know, in the back.
Oh, man, that's the worst feeling.
And they were hard, bro. But Allahu Akbar, yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the strength to carry on, and I managed to do 16 miles on my bicycle, and an average speed of around about 12 and a half, 13 miles an hour. So when I got back, and I took a picture of the bike when I got back home, and as soon as I got back into my garden, I literally collapsed onto the floor. Literally for myself, I fell on the floor, and I was just breathing really hard because I went as fast as I could. I wanted to go. I wanted to go Hajj on my bike. I didn't want, you know, them to say, oh, you weren't fast enough, or you didn't go long enough, or whatever. So alhamdulillah, I took a breather for about 5 or 7 minutes, and then I had this feeling that I hadn't felt for years. That pounding of the brain, you could hear it in every part of your body. You know, the heart, the pounding of the heart. Yeah. You could hear it, you could feel it in the brain, you know, everywhere. The pulse in your hands. Everything.
Your ears get blocked.
Everything, yeah, absolutely, bro. It felt like you're almost like that point where you're going to faint or something, right? But it wasn't. I didn't faint.
So what year was this?
Sorry, this was 2017.
Okay.
So this was 2017. This was when the Hajj ride was going to happen as well. So this was around about January time, something like that. So I went out on this bike, blasted as fast as I could, came back, like I said, went through quite a lot of pain, quite a lot of, you know, all that. And when I got back home, I thought to myself, subhanAllah, I felt so good, because I remember like kind of back in the school days running cross country or something, or, you know, the full sprint of, you know, so many meters, and then just go, whoa, and you got that feeling, you know, or running manhunt or whatever, and you got that feeling when you stopped of that pounding and then, you know, the perspiration and stuff. But alhamdulillah, so I thought to myself, okay, I'll go again. So I got a call from the Amir of the last group of Hajj ride, and Abdul Wahid, and he gave me a call, and he said, brother, he goes, tell me something. He goes, did you go out on a mountain bike? I said, I did. He goes, alhamdulillah, good. He goes, okay, no worries. He goes, you carry on riding. So anyway, I carried on riding, and when I actually got on the journey, the reason I'll come back to another thing later, but what happened was Abdul Wahid said to me, he goes, brother, you know, we was in France now, and we've gone through a really hard part where they do Tour de France, and it's like a really hard climb. And it was probably the toughest part of the whole ride anyway. And Abdul Wahid goes to me, bro, you know, he goes, you know, remember we had the conversation on Skype, because I got a second call on the interview, which is on Skype with him and another brother as well, Abdul Muqit. And he said to me, bro, he goes, I've got to tell you something. He goes, when we saw you, and I looked at you, and I saw this big beard with all grey in it. He goes, and you remember the whisper. He goes, you know, when I put my hand in the way and kind of, you know, to the other brother's ear and said, give me a second, brother. We were kind of saying like, whoa, do you think this brother's going to be a hindrance or what? Yeah. And actually, there wasn't actually a space for me, and somebody had fallen out, and I got in as well. Alhamdulillah. So he said to me, listen, he goes, I said to the other brother, he said later on, because he looked at my Strava, he said, bro, I looked at his Strava, and he's got a, you know, awesome speed for a mountain bike at 16 miles at, you know, sort of roughly 13 miles an hour. And he goes, wait till he gets on a road bike. He's going to be on a next mission, you know. So he goes, let's just give him a little try, and then we'll get him in some of the rides, and we'll see how things go. But alhamdulillah, so I was fortunate enough that, you know, I ended up going on that ride. I left from East London, media was there, etc. And alhamdulillah, with East London ELM Masjid, there's like 10,000 worshippers. And on Friday we left there, and then we went off on our journey. My family all came to see me, which was beautiful. And alhamdulillah, the most blessed thing about it was that, we left London, got to Brighton that night. When I made the phone call and said to my parents, already got to Brighton, they were like, wow, subhanallah, you're already in Brighton. And two of my brothers actually, because we forgot to get, I don't know if you know what mishri is. Mishri is like little sugar cubes, right? They have back home, little white sugar cubes. And one of the brothers that was riding, his mother gave him mishri and said, son, this was look after, take this with you, because when you need that little bit of sugar which you do as well, you're going to get that little boost. And he was really upset. He goes, bro, man, I left my mishri, man, back in London, man, and we're in Brighton now, and I can't think where I'm going to get it here. I said, don't worry, bro, inshallah, it'll be fine. So I called my brothers. I said, listen, you're only a couple of hours away. Do me a favor, jump in the car and bring up a few bags of mishri, and whilst you're there, bring some Majul dates out as well, bro. Yeah? You're going to need some of those, yeah. Alhamdulillah, honestly. So the brothers, two of my younger brothers, Waqar and Tayyib, they came up, and the brothers...
Safta, you didn't pull through?
No, you know what happened?
He's there in the city, but he's working
back up. Back up.
Oh,
So
you were just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case Hamby failed, you were
He knew that telepathy, he didn't even have to pick that blower up. He knew that I'm going to come through. But subhanAllah, the blessing lay with the young ones.
No.
So he picked up the blower because he knows, subhanAllah, the brothers are... they get around. They got their youth and they got their time on their side, and they get around. Whereas me, he knows I got his back because it's a blessing. But hence he called the young ones, and alhamdulillah, they come on through.
Right?
That's exactly what it was, my brother. Honestly, everyone can do with a bit of reward, right? And
Everyone
for the
plays a
niyyah that
part.
they put into it, got up, they spent their own money on the mishri.
Oh, man.
So all of that journey for the Hajj, they actually, all of us brothers, because they bought not one little bag, they bought like 3 massive big 2.5 kilo bags each or whatever, you know what I mean? So we all had it in our back pockets, in our jerseys and stuff like that. And so they get their blessings, and alhamdulillah, it's helped them, because I've seen so many things afterwards that have happened, and through the blessings and the du'as from our brothers and sisters and mother and parents and friends and the ummah. That's the only way we could, and alhamdulillah, we all made it to Medina in one piece, all of us.
So I think a lot of people have seen the video online of you guys leaving East London Masjid, and everyone's kind of cheering, you guys off on your bikes. So you guys, just to give a kind of some context to it, you guys basically travelled from London to Hajj, and you did your Hajj, and the only mode of transport you guys took was you rode there on your bikes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had to cross on ferries, etc.
Right.
But
other than that,
on land, it was all riding.
Wow, and how long did that take?
That took us 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
Subhanallah. And how many countries did you go through?
We went through 9.
Okay. And so you did that when in 2017. And so the brothers that kind of arranged that last time, are they the same brothers who are arranging it this time, or have you kind of taken lead this time?
No, because so what's happened is that actually see, the thing is, we went through France, the Alps in the mountains in France, then Black Forest, Germany, which was quite mountainous as well, Switzerland, Italy, and these mountains were like, in the mountains, they're not like hills, you know what I mean? There's a totally different ball game, because you see the clouds and then you see the peaks above the clouds, and you got to keep riding and riding. Yeah, bro.
Why would you do that?
There's no choice.
That's the
because
only
that's the
way.
route we took, right?
That's the only way. So you're pretty much
we're going
in the
through
clouds.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. At one point, me and brother Shamsuddin, we looked at this little dot up on the right hand side, miles away, and what it was is a little bridge where a car was crossing, and you could just see a little thing crossing, and we noticed it was a car. And I laughed at him. I goes, "Bruv, imagine if we had to go up there, man." And I swear to you, guess what, right? The road went left, right, because this up to was right, but it went left and then it turned right, and then we kept climbing and climbing. 5,000 feet up in the air was the peak of this mountain, right? And we just kept going and going and going and going and going. And eventually, we looked down from that same bridge. I've got a picture of it, with all 3 of us when we made it, that part of that bridge. We looked back around, and the clouds were below us. And we could see that 2 of the other brothers, they were just starting at the point where we were pointing up. Yeah, I was like, So I just shouted out, Allahu Akbar! And they just looked and thought, oh no, we've got to go up there. Oh, subhanallah.
This sounds so dangerous as well, though.
You know what it is? The roads. Dangerous. I mean, honestly, even if you think about it, London's more dangerous in that sense. There's so much traffic. There's so many cars, and people don't really think about bikes. But there, the roads are open. They're open. They're nice, and they're not busy. the roads aren't busy. We didn't actually see that much traffic, and there are routes which cars go on, but they're not like dual carriageways. There wasn't anything like that, or there wasn't any like motorway traffic, anything like that. So, and people do respect cyclists as well. But as long as you've got good manners on the road, it makes a big difference as well, that people understand that, okay, you need your space as well, and they give you room, and you can get away.
So how did you guys have your breaks in that over those 5 weeks? It's 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did you guys get hotels? Or?
No hotels all through Europe, and that all through Europe up until Egypt. We had to get hotels because they don't let you camp.
Okay.
But we had tents, we tented, we
Just all
stayed
in your
in
back?
masjids. No, we had a support vehicle in Europe up until Greece.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So alhamdulillah, that basically with the support vehicle, we had the support drivers. There was a support driver and a co-driver. They would go out and get our food, and bits. We didn't get them meat until about 3 weeks into the ride, and alhamdulillah, we managed to get livestock and do ziba ourselves.
Oh, amazing.
Which was beautiful, really, and it was proper organic food as well.
So these support drivers, they must be driving really slow and annoying everyone else on the road.
Yeah, so no, what it was basically what it was is because we had satellite navigations on our bicycle.
Yeah.
They knew, and we knew that 20 miles into the ride, we're going to kind of go and they could see us 20 miles ahead, or stay 20 miles
they weren't
behind
necessarily
and catch up.
okay.
No, and they weren't actually even needed in the sense of that there wasn't an emergency where they had to quickly get to us or whatever. But by Allah, alhamdulillah, he called us to his house, and we couldn't even imagine, because what we came to realize was that yes, he is the best of planners. We had a plan, we were going to do this such a way, or we're going to do it a different way, or whatever, but everything that happened, all you have to say is whenever something doesn't go to your plan, say alhamdulillah, because honestly there's always, when you come to realize that later down the line that subhanallah, this was the plan, this is why the other thing didn't go right, and it just makes so much sense, and I mean, there was one day I did actually come quite close to death, right? But this was when we got to Switzerland, and it got dark, and I was at the top of a peak of a mountain, and we'd done about nearly 10,000 feet of elevation that day. We were supposed to stop at one spot. We couldn't stop there, so we had to carry on. And we carried on, and it got dark, and I remember going through a cloud. It was in one of the videos, the vlogs as well. There was 3 of us brothers together at the time. We were in little pockets of 3s and 2s and whatnot. And when we were getting to this peak, before we got to the peak, probably about 1,000 foot before, we were in the cloud already, and I could hear a rumble. And I said to Shamsuddin, Shamsuddin, bro, I goes, can you hear that? He goes, yeah. I goes, what is that? He goes, that's thunder. No. I goes, so when thunder comes, what comes after, bro? He goes, lightning. I goes, go! And we were screaming, get out of it. We wanted to get out of the cloud because we thought, well, we're going to be in the lightning.
Were you in the cloud?
We were in the cloud at the time. We were in the cloud, bro. I was stuck for love. I was like, oh my God, we've got to get out of here. So we
How
were just
far can you see when you're in the cloud? How far ahead of you?
Just literally, like, when you got, it's the same as fog pretty much.
No
it's the same as fog. So like, when it's foggy and you can only see like a couple of meters or a meter and a half, 2-3 meters, depending on how thick
you can see to the tip of the end of your nose.
This is insane.
Yeah, you can see the flashing light on the back of the bike of the one that was in front of me, which was only 2 meters away, and then another 1 or 2 meters away. So only 2 or 4, 5, 6 meters, that sort of.
Wow.
But alhamdulillah, got to the top of that, and the support vehicle had come back from where we were going to stay that time. And as it came back, I said to the Amir, I said, could you do me a favor? I said, I don't want to stop here, because he said to us, it's too dangerous for you to go down, and I want you boys to jump in. One of the brothers, he jumped in. I'm not going to name him. He knows who it was. He jumped in the support vehicle for the rest of the miles down. So it's probably like 10 miles or something like that. And then, so that was all downhill from there. But at the same time, it was raining really hard. The sun had gone down, so it was past Maghrib now. And the temperature had dropped suddenly from like quite nice to like freezing cold. And this was in Switzerland as well. So, the temperatures goes from like a plus to a minus very quickly. And so I asked Amir, I said, I kind of begged him, and I said, please, I said, if you don't let me go down there now, I will feel like I've failed the journey. Personally, for me, please, I beg you, just let me, because obviously Amir's order is the same order as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's, so you have to listen. But I pleaded. I said, please, I don't want to stop now. No matter what the call, I didn't come here to stop. I have to carry on. So one of the other brothers jumped in with me, and jumped on the bike with me, and he must have gone maybe 100 meters, and he was soaked because we were just basically hitting the back into the cloud. But at that point, it was raining at one point, and the rain, obviously we weren't getting wet because we were above the cloud.
No.
Yeah. So I couldn't
Subhanallah.
even. Do you know what I mean? So you got the cloud, and we
What
can
an
see the lightning,
experience.
Oh my gosh.
all going off under,
And it's all going on
and
below
it's all
you.
soaking underneath.
That must be so surreal.
It was just profound. It was
These
like
sound
a-
like experiences that you just would never go
They couldn't
through
have.
unless you. Yeah.
No, honestly, I there's so many things that happened on that journey that we could just sit here for like days and talk about how many things went on. Honestly, it was just absolutely gobsmacking, you know, like a real eye-opener in many ways.
I feel like that's what life's about creating these kind of scenarios where you can look back and you can remember these things rather than kind of living a mundane life.
Superb, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, alhamdulillah. And to be honest, if you go on a journey to help your brothers and sisters out, or help the ummah, or help humanity out, even if they're not Muslim, even if it's just to help humanity out, because at the end of the day, we've not been promised, a Jannah. You know, we have to work for it. We all have to work for it. And to be honest, I feel for the people who are lost, who aren't on deen, who haven't found religion yet, you know, because when you've got God, you've got something to aspire to, you know what I mean? And something
got
to look forward to.
everything.
You've got everything, you know? And alhamdulillah, with a journey like this, what I learned was that, you know, there was just so many things that happened, just overwhelmed, but still now when I have to, you know, I wish I don't even need to write a list. I've got memories of it all, you know, like,
Alhamdulillah.
but,
He's a
whether
good
we needed
storyteller.
water,
Amazing.
you know what it is? I wasn't a good storyteller before, because the thing is I didn't have any stories to tell
Yeah,
you.
now you got an amazing story to
But
tell.
like now,
Subhanallah.
astaghfirullah, so you know, alhamdulillah, I can only thank Allah that, you know, I love doing my salah now. I don't like to wither, and I don't like to miss it, and I'd like to be on time with it. And I feel, and alhamdulillah, by Allah, when it's salah time, if I'm working, I normally end up nudging my, you know, elbow on something, or hitting my, you know, a hammer on my hand or something like that. Not too hard, just as a little reminder. It's salah time. Yeah, and
Allahu
it
Akbar.
happens all at that time. And, you know, by Allah, this is just another thing, subhanallah, you know, that I'm blessed enough to kind of go through these kind of things now as well with things. And I really do not like missing salah. And subhanallah.
So, how many miles is that from London to Hajj?
That was 2,500 miles.
Subhanallah.
And this time we've, it was actually Brother Junaid's idea. And like this time what happened was,
Mine.
yeah.
JD,
It
you
was
got to
Brother
bite the
Junaid's
bullet.
idea, right? You have to tell them what happened, right? So you have to tell them, explain to the brothers and sisters, right, and the world, right, that how, you know, obviously you done the chase and found the brothers, you know what I mean?
So first of all, what I wanted to ask you, Junaid, is so obviously we know Safta how you kind of met Tahir. You guys are brothers. So you,
You could,
They didn't have a choice.
yeah.
I don't even
could-
know this guy, but I'm from Jack.
you
I've
can
never-
choose your friends,
Subhanallah.
but you can't choose your family.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. So Junaid, how did you first of all get in touch with Tahir? How did you find out about the Hajj riders? And you both kind of Safta and Junaid, you guys haven't done the Hajj ride before, so you guys are going to be doing it this year, inshallah, for the first time. So Junaid, tell us how all of that kind of happened. How did you get in touch with them, and how did it
Sure.
start?
So what I'll do, I'll tell you the story from the start, yeah?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it's an amazing story for me. I hope it's the same for you guys.
Inshallah.
So it started, and what you'll get from this story is it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connects the dots. And when you meet people, you might not know why you're meeting them now, but there's a bigger reason. So I've got a friend way north near Manchester. He came back from Hajj in 2017 when these lot done the Hajj ride. So I went to see him, and he was like, boys, you'd never guess I met the Hajj riders out there. And I was like, I'm pretty enthusiastic about these things. I was like, wow, we need to meet them. We need to go for some food. We need to find out about their stories. Alhamdulillah, as you know, mashallah, T hasn't even started with these stories. But when you hear about some of the miracles, they're amazing. So obviously I was like, you know, Imran, we need to meet him, this, that. And it was just one of those things when I left, came back to Slough, didn't think much of it. So then a few months on, actually in 2018, we had someone else that's doing Tour de Hajj who started work with me. His name's Wasim. And obviously sitting next to him at work, he's just talking to him, and he was like, I'm a cyclist, I'm X, Y, and Z, and my dream is to cycle to Hajj. And like everyone's all like, good luck with that, bruv.
Good luck.
And the more, so didn't think of it 3-4 months when, and then, you know, as generally, like, alhamdulillah, with your podcast, when you listen to it, and it's like you lot just talked about, aspiring to do more, you know, rather than going to work 9 to 5, you do your 9 to 5 and just come home, watch Netflix, go to sleep. It's more than that, giving back, you know, attaining Jannah and stuff like that. So we see he planted the seed about Hajj ride, cycling there, and the more I thought about it, I was like, and my head was making excuses why not to do it: family, work, finances, X, Y, and Z. And then the more I started thinking about it, the more you listen to these motivational YouTube channels, you know, aspire to do big things, don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a change, stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And then one night, I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep, and if it's the first thing I think about when I wake up, I'm going to go for it. 100%, I'm going to try my utmost and best to do what I got to do, organize, whatever. So that night, guess what? I didn't go to sleep because I was thinking about it, yeah. So I was like, all right, now we're on Sunday, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going a bit doolally. So one of my mates, Mohsin, I was like, Mohsin, do you want to cycle to Hajj? And as I didn't expect this from him, he's like, bruv, of course, man, let's do it this time. I was like, all right. So then I phoned Imran up. I go, Imran, have you got the contact number for the brother that you met doing Hajj ride? He goes, yeah, I got his number. So before I rang him and stuff like that to the build up to this, I'm watching the Hajj ride videos, yeah? And I'm looking at all the brothers. I'm thinking, you know what? And I looked at T and I was like, I hope Imran don't know this brother because he looks a bit regiment. And you know what? The brothers are a bit laid back and, you know, chilled out. And I thought, bro, if we go with this brother, it's going to be a bit tough, yeah? At this point, so I rang him, yeah? And he gave me the number. I rang him. And when I was speaking to him, I was like, bro, this brother is on a level. He's a very nice brother. What I didn't know is that I was talking to Safta. I wasn't talking to D. So I was like, all right. I was like, bro, let's meet up, yeah? And alhamdulillah, Allah is the best of planners. I was thinking in my head, right, I need to meet this brother. I was thinking, in my head while I'm talking to him, I'm thinking, bro, what if this brother lives in Birmingham? He didn't have the accent for Birmingham, like Portsmouth, Bournemouth, 100 miles away, this, that. I was like, brother, where are you from? He was like, Maidenhead. And that's like 8 miles, if that. I was like, subhanallah, you know what? I think this is meant to be.
It's a calling.
So we've arranged a time, gone to see him. And while I'm driving there, right, I'm praying that this guy doesn't work out to be T, yeah? Because, you know, like, I'm judging a book by its cover now, yeah? So as I get there, yeah, and I
you've learnt a lesson that you don't judge a book by its cover, yeah?
100%, mashallah.
Take a read.
Couldn't choose a better Amir, yeah? But this is one thing T didn't tell the people listening, that as well as doing the Tour de Hajj, he's the Amir as well. So as of, he's told me to come to this restaurant in Maidenhead. So as I've got out the car, I've seen T and some brother next to him. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, man.
So before this...
So it was both of you guys.
That's right, yeah.
So before I've set the motions on trying to sort this out and stuff.
How long ago was this, sorry?
This was in December. October.
Oh, okay. October just gone.
Yeah, October just gone.
By now, Safta, did you know that you were going to do it this year?
No one knows at the
brother.
moment.
This was just we was talking on the phone.
Okay.
Just a little intro. Spent some time talking on the phone, and then it was only right to meet face to face. And the purpose of the meet was just, we've been talking on the phone for so long, and it's only right that we meet face to face. Had no preconceptions, nothing. Blank canvas. And then we meet.
So before this, I've asked my manager, right? I've said, listen, I'm looking to do this, yeah? You're going to give me time off work. Mashallah, lovely brother. He said, this is the way he dropped it. He said, you can go this year, but next year I'm going with my mum. I thought, all right. So I've only got this year to do it, 3 months, yeah? So I've gone there and I'm like, mashallah, you know, talking. He's telling me about his stories. I'm just more on it, thinking I need to go. And then I was like, because my aim was just like to backpack of another group of boys, just like join, do the training, you know, not organize the whole thing and whatever. And T goes, it was done in 2017 and no one's doing it in 2019. I was like, that was like someone just got a knife and just put it through my heart. Like, damn, you know, dreams are over, it's done. And then I looked at T and I was like, T, no one's doing it in 2019. He's like, nah, no one's doing it in 2019. I was like, but why can't we make it happen? He was like, it'll be a lot of work, this, that. But I've got something that might be able to help us. I was like, Allahu Akbar. So now we've left the meeting and now I'm thinking, we need to pick a charity partner. How we gonna make it all happen? How we gonna get out there? So alhamdulillah, we've done a few other projects with a few charities. So I made a few inquiries. Alhamdulillah, I don't know. Are we allowed to name?
Yeah, go ahead, man. You can talk about whatever you want here.
Yeah. So spoke to brother Saj from. At that time, he was with Human Appeal. Then he moved over to Penny Appeal. I rang him. He was like, "Look, this isn't my department, but I'm gonna put you onto someone whose department is." So there's a guy in Penny Appeal, Harumo. I don't know if people have heard of him. He does challenging events. So I've rang him. I've said, "Listen, brother, I've got one of the most amazing events for you guys. If you want to be part of it." He goes, "What's that?" I go, "Brother, I've got a group of brothers who want to cycle to Hajj, and we need someone to help us." He said, "You know what? I'm going to be in London this week. Come see me. We'll sit down. We'll chat." So we had a chat, sat down. 100%. They backed us, and alhamdulillah, 4 or 5 months on, we're here. We're setting off June 7th.
Inshallah.
Like, share, subscribe. Tour de Hajj.
So Tour de Hajj that's the name that you guys came up with.
Yeah, this is
So it's not Hajj Riders.
No. Well, the Hajj Ride is basically what it was. Is with Hajj Ride, I was anticipating that it was going to happen the next year and the next year, and I was going to do it until I dropped, kind of thing. Yeah, because I fell in love with it. Not for the publicity. It was never for that. That just came with it anyway by Allah. You know, Allah raises who He wishes, and and drops who He likes as well. And no one can do otherwise. But so alhamdulillah, for me, it was I was a bit saddened that it didn't happen in 2018. And then I knew that there was going to be a ride in 2019 possibly, and then that changed to 2020, which is the Aqsa ride. Sure. So that would be flying over with bicycles to Saudi Arabia, to Makkah, doing Umrah, and then doing the Hijri road, the route to Medina. Yeah,
this is insane.
From there to Aqsa,
guys.
Masjid al-Aqsa as well. So that's on 2020. But like, I was kind of feeling a bit, because by the time I got to Egypt, we went from that 13 mile average with a bit of backwind behind us as well. Done 97 miles that day in Egypt in nearly 40 temperature, like 40 degrees in that, yeah. And average in about 4 hours we'd done this, right? So it was roughly about 23.5 miles an hour that we were traveling on a bicycle, right? And through this heat without even like kind of, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a backwind which kind of just flowed us through from one end all the way to the other. Subhanallah.
So Tour de Hajj is kind of play on Tour de France, right? Or is it not?
Yeah,
because
because
exactly
Tour de is like of France, right? But Tour de Hajj, I was obviously that.
Yeah.
But funnily
so
enough,
Tour de
people
means in French Tour of, right?
That's
right?
Tour
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Tour of
Hajj.
Tour of Hajj.
Yeah.
But now when you say Tour de France, everyone knows cycled. So we thought Tour de Hajj.
Yeah, that's a really cool name. I love it.
Mashallah, came down.
and
the brothers
subhanallah,
they sat down, they worked things out.
It is so contagious
It
because
There's
we've
two
just
groups that
found
picked up
out
on it, yeah.
that 2 groups, one overseas and one in the UK, they have rebranded themselves as Tourdy something and Tourdy something.
No, you can talk about the second one. There's a
No,
guy.
no.
Let's not drop no bars. We're going to keep it confidential, yeah? So one brother got in touch.
It sounds like you guys should copyright this thing.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what?
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's well, alhamdulillah.
You know what?
We get the reward for it. So it's all good.
Our plan is to get people off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On their bikes.
On their
back on the road.
bicycles.
Yes, back
And
on the
back
road.
but for the right reasons.
Yeah, for the right causes.
reasons. Alhamdulillah. I think you must have done, JD, you must have done like what, 1,000 miles by now?
990 miles.
So Junaid, had you ridden bike? How much had you ridden bikes before you?
But you need to read my profile. But anyway, yeah, you can read that. Now, alhamdulillah, you know what? As young, you've got cycles in your early teenagers, cycling to school, cycling here, cycling
Right,
there.
but nothing crazy.
I just sold. I bought a mountain bike that I bought at the age of 18. I still had it at home, and about 6 months before that, I sold it on eBay for like 60 quid or something. But I didn't know that I was gonna cycle.
That's his cycling experience.
Yeah, wow. And
Buy
then-
a bike, ride it in the summer, put it in the shed.
Sell it
10
for
years later, come
60
back
quid.
to it, sell it for £60. Cobwebs come for free.
Alhamdulillah. Safta, seeing
Yes,
as-
my brother.
so you witnessed your older brother do this Hajj ride in 2017.
Yeah.
What then made you make the decision? Have you been to Hajj before, by the way?
Subhanallah, I was blessed to go in 2017.
Alhamdulillah. But you just went by
Yeah.
plane.
Allah-
You guys went the same
Allah-
year, but you
Allah-
thought, forget that. I'm going near.
Allah
Allah
subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful and the most kind and the
Alhamdulillah.
most high. We went on Umrah together in 2014
Okay.
and thereafter 2017 we was blessed to go to Hajj. Tahir was blessed to go by land, and Allah had better plans for me, and I had to accompany my mother
Alhamdulillah.
and my wife,
Alhamdulillah.
and we took the traditional route, jump on a plane from Heathrow and come off at Jeddah, and then off you are.
Did you guys meet?
Allahu
subhanallah,
Akbar.
yeah.
There's
This
a
is
story
beautiful,
there
yeah,
as well,
absolutely,
subhanallah. So, long story short, bro, see a publication about the Hajj ride before he'd gone. He goes, bruv, there's a WhatsApp message. Check it out. Sign up. We're going to do this. Cool, bro. Some time passes, and the message is still sitting in my WhatsApp.
He wasn't meant to
inbox.
ride. He wasn't meant to ride.
Yeah.
It's
And
a calling,
so,
man.
so I'm like, cool. You get busy with life,
Yeah, of course.
busy with work, and one thing led to another. A few months have passed. He's like, brother, have you applied for the Hajj ride? Brother, I'm gonna do it. Cool. A few more weeks have passed, and now he gives me that serious look, and he's like, you know, it's got a deadline, and it's got to be in by a certain time. I'm like, Allahu Akbar, deadline. All right, cool. How long have I got? Have a look, and I've probably got about 3 days to do this, yeah? So in my mind, I'm like, let me get to work on Friday night. When I find a quiet time, I will apply, yeah? In my own peace and time. Next thing you know, I've opened it up on a Friday evening in the office. Bam! Missed the deadline.
See, it wasn't meant to
Allahu
happen, man.
Akbar.
meant to
It
happen.
wasn't meant to
happen.
be. But subhanallah, it was like, all right, you know what? It's all good. It wasn't meant to be. You know, Allah is the best of planners. There's something else. There's something bigger. There's something better than this. Let's ride the wave. Bro, I was like, did you apply? I was like, bro, guess what? I missed the deadline. He goes, okay, inshallah next time. So, bro's got selected, and I am like ecstatic, but I'm containing the excitement because I wouldn't expect anything different from him.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, he's been blessed to be outlandish and a trailblazer from day dot. When he was leading his trends, and he, subhanallah, you know, every craze and trend that was going on from the 70s right up until the present day, somehow a brother ends up being the forerunner of this, yeah?
Alhamdulillah.
When you're kids and you're growing up, he's like, everyone's pointing the finger. He's the bad guy.
Okay.
You don't want to be like that bad guy.
Oh, no.
But subhanallah,
Tables turn, bro.
whoever Allah
Alhamdulillah.
raises and whoever Allah lowers, that's Allah's call.
That's true.
We got to be sincere. So coming back to the flow. So he gets selected, subhanallah, wholeheartedly happy for him because I knew how bad he wanted to do this. When we were in Umrah together, he spoke about this to me. He goes, brother, if I got a ride on my bike, are you in? You going to ride with me? Yes, brother, I'm in. Never, ever in a million years did I think this was going to happen.
So that was I'm in, and then you know you like step back. Yeah, I'm with you.
Because
all
I
the
got
way.
his corner.
You just go ahead.
Yeah? Because you know what? Don't say no. Because you don't know, it can manifest. So if I'm saying no, am I killing the brother's dream? Yeah?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
your own-
brother.
and your own as well,
Yeah,
and your own as
brother,
well, just
I'm
dead up, no.
I'm in. That's what I said. But never did I think it was going to materialize. When he told me about it, subhanallah, and he goes, bro, remember that conversation we had when we was doing Umrah? I was like, bro, you know what? Allahu Akbar. This is a calling. So he gets selected, and I'm just overjoyed. And then next thing you know, my mum goes to me, "Beta, I want to go to Hajj." I'm like, okay, mum, cool. Again, same thing. Left the conversation there, gave it some thought, got busy back with life. Some more weeks pass. Mum's like, "Beta, what have you done about the preparations for Hajj?" Inshallah, mum, I got it in the bag, don't worry. Couple of months have passed. Beta, assalamu alaikum, GME. Beta, what have you done about the Hajj preparations? GME, inshallah, I'm going to do something. And Ami's exact words were, Putter, at per la sota ko jo si. Meaning, move those arms and move those legs, and Allah will help you.
What language was that?
That was Patwari.
Oh, okay, guys, 'cause
Yeah.
that didn't sound like Punjabi to me. I thought you guys were...
Yeah, that's Patwari.
Okay.
That's a mix between Urdu and Punjabi.
Okay.
Yeah?
So basically, if you don't move, nothing's gonna
So
happen.
in
Yeah,
Punjabi,
yeah.
that's it. तुसी अपने हाथ पैर हिलावो तो कुछ होएगा.
Ah, kuch hoega.
समझ लगी
Yeah,
मेरी
yeah,
गल?
yeah, I get it.
There you go. So mum goes, move your arms and your legs. something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Again, I go about my business, gone about my business, go to mum's house in the living room, and my mum looks at me, and this is like a serious look. Now it's like, you know what?
If it looks good, kill.
Yeah.
I'd be dead
Dun,
1,000
dun,
times
dun.
over,
Yeah.
man. Mum's like, Putter, have you done anything about the Hajj ride?
The Hajj.
And sorry, the Hajj,
Yeah.
the Hajj. My apologies. And I looked at my mum, and it was more than words, man. I could feel the emotions. My mum goes, "Beta, I want to undertake this Hajj, and I want to undertake it whilst Allah's given me health." Bearing in mind, my mum is in her 60s, and she has some health concerns. And I said, "Okay, inshallah, we're going to do this." And my mum, there was a tear that welled up in my mother's eye. When that tear welled up in my mother's eye, something happened to me that right at that moment, I was like, you know what? Never has my mother asked me for anything. Yeah. I was like, me, it's done. Yeah. I gave them a hug. And I could feel the coolness when I hugged them. It was like, Allahu Akbar, you know what? My mum don't even know about my financial situation. But you know what? I know Allah's got me.
Subhanallah.
Allahu
Yo, I'm about to cry up in here, you know.
Bro, we ain't even started with the stories.
My eyes are tearing up, bro.
Alhamdulillah.
Allahu Akbar. 100 episodes in, I haven't cried yet. You can't do it to me now, bro.
You know
My
what?
brother, you know what? Mothers soften the
No,
heart.
that's true.
SubhanAllah.
Bro, you know what? Subhanallah, there's something about having that yaqeen and trusting Allah that that He won't let you down. That you can't test it, bro. And there's been so many times in all of our lives, and in my life too, where something's happened, and you think to yourself, I don't know what like Allah has planned, but I'm good. All I know is I'm putting my trust in Him, and I know that His plan is better.
Tawakkal Allah,
And
bro.
then somehow you look back and you think, Subhanallah, Allah did it again. Like, and He's never let you down yet. And
I mean,
and it's amazing because sometimes, like you said, it's a financial situation. Sometimes I think it's impossible for me to logically think about how I could get myself from this point to this point, and then you realize that nothing is difficult for Allah.
Absolutely, bro.
And
Absolutely.
even a story like that,
Yeah,
it makes you
possible.
emotional because
Totally.
you think about your own times where something's happened and you think, you know what, I need to just stop thinking about how am I going to do this, how am I going to do this, but rather just turn to Allah and say, you know what, I'm doing this for His sake, and so He's got me covered. And then you take the steps, and there's so many times that happens in people's lives, and it reminds you of different various ahadith, various ayahs of the Quran, where you hear stuff like, for example, you know, if my slave comes walking to me, I'll come running to my slave. Or if I, or
Can
if,
I get a
or if-
takbir?
Allahu
Allahu Akbar.
or other stuff like, for example, if my slave comes to me at hand length, I'll go to him. When you hear all of these things, there's a pattern that's involved in them, and it's that out of all of these things, it kind of tells you that no matter what, Allah has got your back. But when you hear these various narrations, it's always that the slave makes the first move.
Yes.
So
Subhanallah.
as long as you make the first move, it's like I explained to someone before. It's like,
Intentions.
imagine like you're gonna jump off a cliff and you know that there's a safety net there, but you just can't see it. But you know it's there. You just have to jump, right? But it's like that. It's like, you know, Allah's promised you that He's got you, but you have to make the first, because you have to show Allah you mean it.
Yes.
So Allah
You have to
Akbar.
be
That's-
sincere.
Subhanallah.
Sincerity.
Same conversation I was having with my brother today, younger brother, was in the garden. He's giving me a hand to spring clean the garden because the summer's coming, Ramadan's coming.
doing your jobs before you leave, or you know what's gonna happen.
You know. But subhanallah, so we painted up the fences, we've cleaned the patio, and the neighbour's got a barbecue on the go, a couple of doors up there. I was like, bruv, man, that smells like Pakistan. I goes, brother, that's a barbecue on the go, yeah? I goes, inshallah, Ramadan's coming, you know, iftar's in the garden, and that is like, yes. And the point that he made, he goes, bro, Allah Ta'ala says that until the person does not change their condition, Allah's help does not come.
Subhanallah.
So subhanallah, the onus is on us.
Yeah.
Number one is realization. Realize that, you know what, I got to make these changes. And as you said, backing up the hadith that you said, if you take a step towards Allah, Allah run towards you.
It's written in the Quran, and I know this because alhamdulillah, our manager at work always says this when he does a speech. He says, oh man, change your intentions and I will change your path.
Allahu Akbar.
That might not be exact word for word, but that's the.
Yeah, but we're reading from the same hymn page, the same wavelength.
Right, and obviously we you know we tell our listeners that, you know, fact check these things, like where they come from exactly. But these are all narrations that are very, very common that we hear a lot, whether they're from various ahadith or from hadith Qudsi or from the Quran or perhaps stuff that the scholars have told us. But something that also kind of what you said after that there really kind of hits me, because a lot of the things or some of the things that we hear, to our like limited minds, it doesn't make logical sense, right? Like, for example, Allah will change the condition of people when they change the condition of themselves. To us, that doesn't logically make sense. Like, how is Allah going to fix that situation but all I have to do is fix myself? Like, if I fix myself, what's that going to do to that situation though? The Ummah is suffering. So how is me picking up the Mus'haf and reading the Quran more going to fix that? But
You're a part of the Ummah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not about logic, it's about you putting your trust in Allah and saying, Allah, if Allah said that, then what am I going to do? I'm going to open up the Mus'haf. 100%. I'm going to read the Quran. I'm going to make myself better. Because if I make myself better, I'll leave the rest of Allah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
I'll tell you a little beautiful story. It's beautiful. So
Don't make me cry now, Junaid.
No, it won't make
Safta
you cry.
almost got there. The tea was out balancing. It was balancing on the eyelid.
The emotions were raw.
After this story, I'll get Saf to tell you a proper beautiful story. But anyway, so father comes home from work, right?
No.
Long shift, tired. As soon as he walks through the door, little kids are like, "Daddy, play with me. Daddy, play with me." Blah blah blah. So he's like, "I need 5 minutes, man." So what he does, as he sits down on the sofa, there's a map of the world, yeah. So he just rips that map up into, like, I don't know, 8 pieces, 9 pieces, 10, whatever, yeah? And he gives it to the girl and he says, as soon as you put this back together, the map of the world, I'll play with you. So she's gone away. She's come back a couple of minutes later. Daddy, it's done. Here you go. He's looked at her and he's like, wow, you've done that so quickly. How did you do it? She goes, Daddy, I didn't put the map back together. I turned it around and there was a picture of a person. I put the person back together and then the world got put back together itself. Hence the story, fix yourself and Allah will fix the world. And that's the moral of the story. But anyway, before we tell him the story about what your grandma did when she CT.
Allahu Akbar.
Get some tissues for fun.
Allahu Akbar. First, I'd like to say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Ameen.
continue elevating the status of our grandma in Jannat al-Firdaus.
Ameen.
They passed away in October last year. And they were the backbone of the family, the community. Being an elder, subhanAllah, they were blessed to see with their own blessed eyes over 5 generations of their family. A strong woman, a godly woman, subhanAllah. We are who we are today, and they have a big part to play in it. They, subhanAllah, used to make dua every day. The whole family, the community, the ummah, the brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, because I'm a firm believer, without dua, subhanAllah, for these brothers to travel from the UK to Saudi Arabia and not one hair move out of its place, by Allah, the power of dua, Allah's mercy got them there unscathed, immaculate, in a better, they arrived in a better condition than they left.
Subhanallah.
Yeah? And subhanAllah, grandma used to watch him every day on the TV, yeah, YouTube, and she'd watch attentively. And she, mashallah, she was in her late 80s, and the body was now naturally, by Allah, it starts to shut down and slow down. It's a natural process that Allah has made, Allah's creation, and at the later part of your life, you become dependent of assistance and help. So subhanAllah, they're watching the YouTube videos and they're watching it stage by stage, step by step. Subhanallah, and their limbs aren't as strong as they used to be and they need assistance to move around. Walking stick or an aid or a hand to assist them around. And they're watching brother arrive to the blessed city of Madinatul Munawwara. And subhanallah, when the brother arrives, grandma gets up off the sofa and walks over to the TV and kisses the TV.
Takbir.
Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. She goes, my son's made it. And subhanallah, double whammy. One, brother gets to his destination, and subhanallah, two, for grandma to get up and to move unaided on her own and go to the TV and kiss that TV. You cannot put it into words. You know, just to experience that.
See that,
subhanallah, it was touching and emotional. It was like, you know, a person who really didn't move around because just the way life goes. Of course. For them to get up and walk to that TV, which was a few meters across in the living room, it was like, you know what, subhanallah.
And kiss the TV, bro.
Love, man, pure love.
I know what you mean. It's fine. Our grandparents have such like a soft place or such a big place in our hearts. Only this morning, my sister sent in our family WhatsApp group a video, like a really old video, from back in the day when we were all really small, and our granddad was at the top of the table and we were all at a restaurant, and as crazy as this, or as unrealistic as this may sound, because I've already almost teared up once in this podcast, I don't cry too often, right? But I found myself this morning watching this video on my phone, and I just started crying because I was watching this video. And
Allah softens the heart.
Yeah, but because when you see your grandparents, you realize that the love that they've given you and put into you, and then but you only get to see them for such a short period of your life if you put it into perspective. And I think grandparents have that much love for their grandchildren because these are the children that they get to now enjoy. They don't have to raise them and go through the hard stuff with them as much, and they get to like spoil them and give them love. And one of my kind of not regrets, because I know that Allah had written it to be like this. But one of the things that often makes me sad is that my granddad was by far my best friend ever, but he never got to see me as a practicing Muslim, and he would be the one who would encourage me to go to the masjid. I'd go to the masjid with him and stuff like that, but he never really got to see me really take the deen seriously, and that kind of makes me sad because I know how happy and proud that would have made him.
He's watching you from up there, bro.
Inshallah, we'll get
to it, bro. Inshallah, the good work, man.
The thing that makes me happy is knowing that inshallah, if we try and attain Jannah, that inshallah we can be reunited with our loved ones in Jannah.
Of course, this is why it's worth putting more effort.
Of course,
because ultimately. That's what we've got to strive for, to come and meet up with them family members again, and we won't be, ill, or we won't be, there's so many things on this earth that, alhamdulillah, honestly, we're just so blessed that we even see them, to have such good memories of beautiful people that, left behind, alhamdulillah, in this day and age, children, grandchildren.
You said it there, what have they left behind? They've left us behind as a sadaqah jariyah. So it's our duty to do good
in their memory.
In their memory, because who gets the rewards as well? Because you do bad,
Allahu Akbar.
But you do good, and you know what? They get the rewards for you doing good, and that's why we need to
do good in their names.
Right now, inshallah, Faisal's granddad's up in Jannat al-Firdaus in their palace. Yeah. And one day, when this all ends, who's gonna have the palace next door to granddad's? Allahu Akbar.
Inshallah.
And Faisal, this is going down in history. And remember this: if you don't see us in heaven, ask for us.
Inshallah. And likewise.
Allahu Akbar. This is how deep it goes, man.
Listen. We're doing a podcast update, guaranteed. Bro.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
To be continued. We haven't finished
part
yet,
part two. But as I said, let's talk about a bit more about this Hajj ride, because it's so interesting. Tahir, you hear about these kind of things that go on where people put themselves through these extreme situations where they're doing stuff like, for example, traveling through 17 different countries on bike to get to these places and stuff like that. And you hear of things like people stopping and they're peeing blood and they're going through all of these issues with their health. Did you experience anything like that, or anything that really kind of affected you in regards to your health?
Allahu Akbar, that's all I can say, my brother. I honestly, if you were, obviously you go gym, right?
Right.
So you know that if you go in, right, to the gym today, and you went in from Fajr till Maghrib, right, to the gym, doing legs, that you're going to need some time off.
Leg press.
You're going to need some time off, right? So alhamdulillah, we were starting at Fajr. This is the first 3 weeks straight. By Allah, I'm not going to sit here and say any pokies, bro, because our stuff ain't that way, because it's haram. Yeah.
That's right.
But the fact of the matter is, for the first 3 weeks straight, we didn't have any rest days, right? So every single day we were riding from pretty much from Fajr, just after Fajr, and stopping at around Maghrib time. This was a 3 weeks straight. We were sleeping, and bearing in mind this is in midsummer, right? They're right in the peak of the summer. So we were sleeping around about, now Isha was around about 11, half 10, 11 o'clock. So we'd prepare for that. By the time we would offer the Isha, it was 11:30. Sat down, have a little conversation, 12, half 12, 1 o'clock sometimes quite easily. So you got to get up for Fajr, right? Proper early again. So that's the sleep we were getting, 3 to 4 hours.
Subhanallah,
For
you're
3
riding
weeks
the whole.
straight.
Subhanallah.
I can't even remember what diet we were on. Bread,
Allahu Akbar.
peanuts,
You know which diet you was on? Seafood.
Yeah.
Seafood and eat it.
Yeah.
we wish we did seafood. The thing is, alhamdulillah, by Allah, my brother, he's the one who puts the barakah in even the little one date. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you something now. This is one of the biggest miracles for me, right? I was on medication for a hyperthyroid, which got me from, I used to weight train, so I was at 16.5 stone,
Yeah.
52-inch chest, bang. I was pumping it out. I was loving my
How
training.
tall are you?
5'10".
5'10" and 16.5 kg stone.
Yeah. And my waistline was literally
Subhanallah.
34. Right? And I was on a 52. I was
Subhanallah.
training hard. Yeah. And for the year before that, I'd been doing martial arts. So I was doing natural body training, wide grip chin-ups, pull-ups, dips, all of this stuff. Yeah. And tiger push-ups and cray and all of this, but proper good form with Master Farouk in Reading. And he was like kind of a father figure situation as well, because this guy had been down the roads. He knew what the roads was all about. He came off that in Sadqa Jariyah. He was getting kids off the road and teaching them. Reading's about 10 or 12 miles away from us. So that's where we used to cycle now and again as well. So he used to say, we used to go in there, students, he used to say, look at these boys. They come from Reading, come from Maidenhead all the way to Reading. They ride here, they kick your butts, and then they get, because we used to have to get on the mats, and then they get back on the bicycle, and they're back into Maidenhead again. You lot should be ashamed for living in this town, you know. So it was a genuine guy, and he still is. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him. He's still doing training, and he still does that kind of stuff. But so I used to train there for about a year, and then after that, so I built the muscle from inside out. So I was about 12.5 stone, just ripped at the time. And then a brother had a gym in the garage. He'd been into weight training for a long time. I wasn't really a weight trainer, but I went in there with him. Carb shakes, protein shakes, serving plates. That stuff it's quite crazy actually when you see the size of how much you got to eat, right?
Well.
So I was eating. I was eating like 5 times a day, right, and having protein
That's
shakes
what I was
too
doing
as well,
5
right?
times a day. When
And
I was,
my portion, bruv, was the tray that you serve up 5-6 people in. You know that tray, that we bring the rice out in and whatever.
Serving
right?
tray.
That was me just sitting there and yamming that up, right? Because I had to keep that size up.
Yeah.
So, and obviously I was burning off so much as well. Alhamdulillah, everyone thought I was on steroids, Ahi. And this is, by Allah, I never touched steroids in my whole life.
Au naturel.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So this, I'm trying to think of where I was going with that.
Hyperthyroid.
Yeah, so what happens? Yeah,
got you.
alhamdulillah. So this hyperthyroid of mine, right? So I was on medication. So what happened was at some point, one of the brother I was training with, brother Zahur, we went to the gym because we run out of equipment in the garage, right? And we had hundreds of kilos. And we was pressing
Run
like
out of
some
weights.
stupid, on the 45 upwards pressing that, like 400 or something. It's just absolutely a maniac, it was going stupid. So what had happened was I always actually literally I used to put fold my arms like I've done now, tuck myself in, and then my legs wouldn't come past my elbows, right?
Wow.
That would be me. So I could lock them, but what I done, he was holding the sides, and he let the thing come down a little bit too far. When he pushed back up, he actually fractured his ribs. He didn't break them, he fractured them, right? But fracture could be so much pain, so
especially
painful.
the ribs, yeah.
Exactly, and that was what it was. It was his ribs, right? So he couldn't train, right? So he was my training partner, but I didn't know about maintaining and all this, that, and the other. And obviously, I already had a habit of eating 5 times a day and having protein and carbo shakes and this, that, and the other, and loads of water and liquids and whatnot. So now all of a sudden, because I hadn't trained with him for 1 month, went 2 months, and then all of a sudden my big muscles started going, like kind of like jellified a little bit, and they'd be a bit of stomach on me and all that, and I wasn't going gym and everything. I started feeling a little bit depressed, and next thing you know, I've gone down, and I was at my grandmother's house, and she had a meal cooked up for us around for the whole family, and that I can't remember if it was Eid time or something. It was a celebration of some sort, so we went around. And out of the kindness of the boys in that, they kind of said to, let's get the scales out and get on the scales. Because they didn't want to say to me clean cut, bro, you lost a lot of weight. What you on? You know, because I looked like I was on crack or something. You know, like on
You
some
had lost weight?
heavy drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
I went down from that big weight down to the floppy stuff, and then.
But you were looking chubby?
No, it was
So
skinny.
by now you'd lost the chub.
Yeah, I'd lost
Okay.
Like a
This
rake.
was over a period of time. This was over a
Okay,
period of about
fine.
a year and a half or so, right?
Sure.
So, and I'd gone down from that size to you know, flabby or whatever.
From
and
one
then-
extreme
to the totally
other.
the opposite. So now
Wow.
they goes to me, let's get on the scales, yeah? So they got on the scales first, and they didn't want to be rude. So they, you know, I'm an older brother as well, so they didn't want to be rude, and that cousins and everything. I'm the oldest in my generation. So they got on the scales, and one's weighing it, the one's weighing that one, that, and they said to me, you get on the scales, bro. And I jumped on the scales, and I weighed 9.5 kg, so 9.5 stones.
No.
Fire.
I'm thinking, boy. And when I looked at that, I thought, you lot have been messing around, twisting that thing up, right? But they hadn't turned it down or turned it up. Or, do you see what I mean? The way they weren't messing around with nothing.
Wow.
I just looked at it and thought, whoa. That's when I thought, wow, subhanAllah, I think something might not be right here. I better go and see the doctors. So I've gone to the doctors. Actually, I left it for a little while. I didn't go to the doctors. We don't, men don't
Of
tend to go to
course,
doctors.
yeah.
Over there.
Put it
So
off
all of a
as
sudden,
long as you can.
I started
Yeah.
getting shakes, like shakes, and my heart started doing funny beats on me and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
I was getting heart murmurs and shakes, and my eyes, they sunk in, and it looked like I was on some crazy drugs or something,
Yeah.
like I'd been on like a mad drug session or something. You know, when you look at something on television, you know,
Like
something
an
down the road,
addict,
addict of some mad nature.
Yeah, thanks for adding that in. Yeah, like
Some
you must be on his.
addict.
You must be on his side. Yeah, he looked like an addict.
No, I'm just
He actually looked really bad.
for the viewers, we're making it real life.
No, astaghfirullah. So, I swear to you,
SubhanAllah, we can
subhanallah,
laugh
bro,
about it now, but I'll
swear
tell
to
you what, it
bro,
was
yeah,
scary.
when I used to look in the mirror, and I used to get scared of myself. I was like, whoa, who's this? You know what I mean? It was that freaky, bro. Custom, it was really scary. And so anyway, at this point, when I got the shakes and the murmurs and everything, I thought, I'm going to doctors now.
Yeah,
Because my missus said, listen, you have to go to doctors now. We're not putting up with nothing else. So I went to the doctors. Doctor checks me, goes back in for after a blood test and that, and he gives me, he goes, your thyroid is at 65 plus, and it should be about 10 or something, and started getting into one. And I just started jokey laughing. I stood up and I said, well, I better get on my bike then, didn't I? And this was like some years ago, right? This is about 12 years ago now. So I goes, I'm going to jump on my bike. And he stood up at the door, stood his foot at the door. He goes, I will write it down for you if you want. You will not do any exercise whatsoever until we give you the go-ahead. You're going to go and kill yourself. I thought, you're a doctor. What do you mean kill yourself? You can't save a life. You can't give life. I thought, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the giver of life. You know what I mean? He, if he wants to take my life, he's going to take my life. But I wasn't going to jump on the bike. I felt like I wanted to jump on the bike because I felt like I wanted to get out there and do something about it. So I thought, all right. So I took their medicine, and then all of a sudden my temperament started going all over the place. I started switching, fuse, like a real slow, bang, and I'm really
Oh, your hormones were all over the place.
Yeah, I started getting all scatty and everything.
Was this when you started exercising, you're saying?
No, when I started taking this
On the
medicine.
medication.
Oh, I
The
see.
side effects of it and all
Okay.
the madness, yeah. And the shake stopped.
Everything
But they gave me a couple of medicines, one for the thyroid and the other one's for the heart murmurs, right? When I read the side effects of all the heart murmurs, I thought I'd rather die of a heart attack
Really?
than to die of all this other craziness that's
Yeah.
with this beta blocker business, yeah? I thought, no, I'm not doing that, man. So then, alhamdulillah, when I took the thyroid medicine, the shakes and the murmuring started stopping anyway. The shakes stopped and the murmurs started slowing down and they started fixing themselves up. So now I was on this for 7 years, and I came across another doctor who said, what medicine? I said, blah, blah. And they said, well, you should have only been on that for 3 years. No more than that. It's not good for you. It's kidney, liver, everything. Not good. Not good. I said, all right. So I'd done the check, research a little bit wherever I could. Went back to the doctor and said, what the heck am I on, man? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Why are you keeping me on this stuff? Are you trying to kill me or what? What's wrong with you lot? So then they said, okay, we'll give you this other medicine. And this other doctor recommended this other medicine, which was much better with less problematic issues going on, like mentally sort of thing, And alhamdulillah, I felt a little bit better. Started putting a little bit of weight on. Very difficult to put weight on again, right? I didn't go gym. I didn't do gym thing. It was just that I just wanted to get. Astaghfirullah, it was that bad that I couldn't even hold my own child in my arm.
Strong enough.
I couldn't even hold my child.
Subhanallah.
I could literally pick the child up and then my muscle would give in.
No
And I would have
way.
to put my child down. I couldn't do much at all. I was just very fatigued, very I don't know, man. I felt like half dead. More than half dead. It was just crazy. So alhamdulillah. So anyway, the miracle what I was going to say is now. So I've been on this medicine for that long. Another year or so I was on this other medicine that they gave me for that thyroid situation. When I made my commitment to cycle, I started cycling. I'd done about 1,000 miles before I rode for the actual journey, but for the Hajj ride itself. when I left for the Hajj ride, that Ramadan, I threw my cigarettes in the bin, which I'd started when I was 9 years old. I threw some other habits in the bin as well at that time. And I thought to myself, the medicine's going in the bin as well. Because if I'm going to Hajj, then, you know, I'm all for this. I'm all or nothing. I'm going, right? So alhamdulillah, threw all of that in the bin. Jumped on the bike, done my Ramadan, beautiful. Few weeks later, whenever it was that we was going to get on the bike and started riding. Went, alhamdulillah, beautiful journey, most miraculous, beautiful journey. Fruits when we needed fruits just come out of the blue, water just there when we needed it. It was just so many things that just happened on that journey that was just like subhanallah, you know, absolutely amazing. No shakes, no murmurs, no nothing. By the time I got to Egypt, I was the fittest I've ever been in my whole life. And I'd been fit before, but this was on another level. I came out of the shower and there was a mirror straight in front as you open the door. And I looked at it and I wasn't looking at my own face. I was looking at my body and I looked, I went, whoa. And I was shocked that I didn't recognize myself because I hadn't taken my top off before this. I hadn't, you know, we'd kept our clothes on. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't believe how etched I was. I was just ripped. I'd never been ripped like this before. And my whole definition, my whole body, alhamdulillah, by Allah. All of this, I was just at a stage where I'd never been before. So, you know, like physically, mentally, spiritually, and by Allah, our visas, right? They were supposed to be for ferry from Hurghada to Saudi, and
from Egypt to Saudi.
From Egypt to Saudi, right? So. What had happened was the visas actually, they sent the wrong visas. They stamped out with the wrong visa. We had no choice though. We had to go by plane. So we had to go back to Cairo to go back, right? So we ended up having 7 days off. And it wouldn't look good on video logs to show, look, we're in Egypt having a holiday. I just wanted to get back on my bike. I just wanted to ride. I wanted to get to Medina. My goal all that time from when I jumped on my bike was Medina. Because I'd already been there on my Umrah, right? So my goal was Medina. And even if you put a brick wall in front of me, bro, I was going through it. Yeah. You ain't going to stop me. I'm going through that wall. I'm going through whatever you're going to put in front of me. You know, because that was my goal. So alhamdulillah, I just kept on going. And when I got there, Zamzam, subhanAllah, miraculous in its own way, dates, you know, good diet, beautiful food. Because by the time we got to Egypt, alhamdulillah, the fish and all of this, the food and everything was just on another level. Alhamdulillah. Got there, came back, and I thought to myself, I haven't taken no medicine, man. And still, till this day, I'm not taking no medicine, bro. I feel strong.
Wow, what a beautiful story.
I feel strong.
Allah, you look strong.
Honestly, I feel strong.
Wow.
I feel young.
Wow.
I feel... And I can't even wait because I haven't even started really going in with this. But in Ramadan, inshallah, I'm going in Ramadan 1.5 hours before, you know, opening my fast. I'll be jumping on my bike. Brothers, he's got no choice. He's coming out.
Inshallah.
For the record, T was the only one that could open that bolt on the mic thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Allah, but honestly, by Allah, my brother, yeah. So the medicine went in the bin. I'm not taking no medicine.
Jenny, that's a case of use brain, not brawn.
Yeah, my brain works better than it did before, alhamdulillah. But you know, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned the tables, community-wise, I was the kid that everyone used to point at, right, and say, whatever happens, don't go around with him.
That's right. He was the example. Like you know, like the black sheep.
These people forgot that this one finger, when I point it at you, I got 3 pointing back at me. Before I even have the audacity to point this finger at you, I need to look at myself 3 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what the mentality should be, right? Yeah. And I only learned this on this journey. So many things, yeah. Now, at the same time, I've got the same parents coming to me to my house and saying to me, Beta, we're shocked. We can't believe that this is how the tables have turned. We're telling our kids now, be like him.
Wow.
Astaghfirullah, not that I'm anybody, but by Allah, how he changes the tables.
True,
you know, it's just phenomenal, bro. Allahu Akbar.
Subhanallah. What an amazing story, man.
Subhanallah.
I just thinking about that food situation. Have you guys maybe I don't know what your plan is kind of going forward, especially for the Hajj ride that you have coming up, but have you seen there's this company who provide like these meals, and they literally provide like some of the like a proper full on like luxury meals, like salmon with like all sorts of stuff, but it's all like frozen, right? And it can last like 20-30 years, and it's meant to be for like a survival stuff, but also for things like what you guys are doing. And all you do is you pour boiling water on it and you shake the bag a bit, and then you've got the meal. I can't remember the name of the company, but maybe that's something worth looking into for like your, because it's made for stuff like this.
We learned, alhamdulillah, we learned a lot from the last journey, right? So when it comes to food and when it comes to all of them, alhamdulillah, those things, it's a good suggestion because we can definitely look into that anyway, because there might be some bits that might be good for that, right? But we're gonna have
like
a van.
an emergency pack or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have a van. We've got a different
A
route
burger
this
van?
time as well.
Ice cream
van, bro. I'm telling you,
If Shafter's coming, I wouldn't be surprised.
ice cream
Good ice cream van, a burger van.
Has to be ice
You
cream.
got to have the luxury. Surely after hardship comes ease.
That's
So
gonna be your
after
emergencies. There's gonna be you can see these guys, right, like riding on their Hajj bikes, and then when you zoom out, you see ice cream van behind them.
I tell you what, on that journey, if I'd heard the ice cream man, I would have been so happy, man.
I can imagine.
You know, it's just in the middle of the mountains, and you start hearing the ice cream man. You'd think it was a mirage in the desert.
Yeah.
Situation.
That can be
Is this real or what?
that can be arranged.
Yeah, I'm sure it can.
But you know what? Yeah, we say all this. Yeah, we say all this. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Recently, we went to Wales for a training ride, right?
Training weekend.
And we had so much planned and X, Y, and Z, and we loaded up the support vehicle with food, with water. And you know, normally when we do cycle, even though we got a support vehicle with us, we carry stuff with us. But for some reason, on this occasion, we thought, you know what, he's gonna be behind us anyway, so let's put everything in there, from punches to everything. So we're literally, it's just us, and we think we got the support vehicle with us. We ain't got nothing to worry about. It's just us and a bike. Subhanallah, what ends up happening is the support driver ends up getting stuck in a ditch.
Wow, out of everyone.
Out of everyone, believe
With
it
no
or not.
reception.
No.
So now we're cycling. It's called Elam Valley, right? So now we're cycling in the mountains. It's like when we're going up the hill, it's got a warning, 25%, and it's not like the compass 25% where it's like that. It's like that. Like if you stop pedaling,
Wow.
you're
back
gonna
down.
roll back down.
No.
And if you stop, you got tight brakes, and then when you have to get back on the bike to pedal again, you might still go back down because. So alhamdulillah, but check the amazing story, yeah. So, and when T was saying to us, listen, boys, here you're climbing hills, there you're gonna be climbing mountains. And I was like, okay, mountains, and it was like you see the peak. You know when you see the peak. You're like, I just gotta get to the peak. You get to the peak, and then it's a left, and it's another
Another
50%
peak.
down.
Another peak.
And you're like, when's this gonna stop? And like, alhamdulillah, I think I'm never gonna forget this moment. One of the brothers that's coming with us is Shaz, a close family friend of mine, and like I said to him, come along, this, that, so you can. And all I hear, I'm cycling up, and you know when you're climbing these mountains, literally, like it's just you gotta do your own thing and let the brothers come at their own pace. It's very hard to help someone because you're struggling yourself. And all I hear from the back is, JD, what have you got me into? I'm like, bro, we'll discuss this later, but I've got to go, yeah. So alhamdulillah, yeah, I swear to God, hand on my heart, yeah. So no support vehicle, not in sight, can't ring him, no reception, no nothing. And I swear to God, yeah, we've filled up the car with water and all sorts. And right now, we've got like 3-4 inches of water in each bottle, right? And it's beaming hot. When we were coming to Wales, I think the radio switched on for 10. Like we put the radio on and it switched on for 10 seconds, and all we heard was two lines. It is hotter in Wales than it is in Portugal and Spain this right weekend.
Yeah.
So now we're in the mountains, it's hot as anything, and like literally we've got 3-4 inches of water in our thingies. Millimeters, yeah.
Inches is big.
Millimeters.
Let's talk
yeah.
millimeters.
I'm not good with my measurements, yeah.
Milliliters.
So milliliters in our bottles, and I swear to God, hand on my heart, yeah. I'm thinking about people that are younger than me on this ride, yeah, like my mate Mohsin and even Shaz, and I'm thinking, bruv, someone can actually pass out today, bruv. What are we gonna do, yeah? I'm seriously worried, yeah. And like, obviously, people like T than me, he's probably worrying about everyone, yeah. And alhamdulillah, yeah, Allah is the best of planners. We're cycling.
Shall I tell you something before you even get to that point? I swear to you, by Allah, bro, yeah, that I was just about to say, Wasim is in front, right?
Yeah.
I was just about to say to Wasim, listen, if you hear any gushing water, stop. And just before I even brought it to my mouth, look to the left, and what was there?
It was a waterfall of spring water. You know the water you
Spring
put on
water.
this table
Yeah.
Spring.
that you've paid for. That is for free
Yeah.
coming down a waterfall.
No.
A spring,
Right then,
a spring
instantly,
gushing out
within
of
10
the
seconds,
mountain. You look
Wow.
left.
We had showers in that. That's how happy we were.
Allah.
This.
Allahu
So
Akbar.
cold as well. It's colder than the fridge, bro.
Bro, look
swear.
at that! Like
Swear by Allah.
these stories are insane, man. SubhanAllah, it just goes to show kind of how, again, like how Allah is the best of planners. Allah's got your back.
Absolutely, bro.
SubhanAllah.
Absolutely.
You know,
And-
to
and you know what?
revive.
Sorry to cut you off, sir. And you know what it is, yeah? Allah sends His helpers, right? So we've got one brother, right? And like I said to you, all the supplies, all the tools, all the punches,
The
all
support
the
vehicle.
water is in the support vehicle, which is stuck in a ditch. And we
And
didn't
he's
know it was.
nowhere to be seen.
We didn't know he was stuck in a ditch.
But we got a puncher.
Yeah, we fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell him how we fixed it. So right, it's all in the support vehicle, yeah? And we don't know where he is. We found out he got stuck in a ditch when we were sitting around the fire
see.
afterwards when we got back. So alhamdulillah. So Saf, something happened to his disc. He had to fix it. And we were waiting on the corner for him. About 15, 20 minutes later, he come past. And then we got back on the bike. As soon as the brother got on the bike and he went to turn it, the chain snapped. Right? So now we're in the middle of a mountain and the chain snapped. And we're like, the people are going past. And they're like, the next town is 20 miles from here.
Yeah. In
And
any
it's-
direction.
and it's
you go
like,
from where we were at the crossroad.
Either we're lifting the bike and walking 20 miles in the heat, or we're just
There's no shade there.
push it.
And
It was just-
and the sun is at its zenith, at its peak,
So
right
fine.
And
above
we're
us,
closer, obviously, we're in
and there is no
altitude.
shade, and the heat is beating down on you, and you've been cycling for hours, and there's no support vehicle,
And you haven't had no
and
food,
there
right?
ain't no reception, and your energy levels are now depleting quick, and you're getting hungry, and every single thing seems as if it's stacked up against you.
So now we're walking, right? And the man that said that, look, the next town's 20 miles, he literally put down 20 miles away. We were like, T, the other brother, he's got a puncher. We're fixing the puncher. We're like, you go, take the brothers with you, 2 brothers with you, and you just get as far as you can.
With a
while
broken
we
chain.
try. Look, we're putting all our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we do. And say, Allah is the
100%
best of
yaqeen.
planet.
Allahu
Something's going to work out. And I swear to God, these 2 couple, I don't know who they are. If they hear this one day, they know who they are. They went 10 miles out.
God bless them.
They just
I had a
stopped,
thought, got to go back.
turned around the car and said, let's go pick that guy up. A white couple,
Random
man and lady
strangers.
in their 60s and 70s, went to pick up an Asian man with a long beard at the age of 44
Wow.
and thought, you know what?
All right.
It was taxi. It wasn't him. It was someone else, and they thought, you know what? Let's go pick him up. And
Oh
when they
my
come
gosh.
back, we were so shocked. He goes, look, we just felt so bad that we needed to help you. And in the end, out of everyone, he's the one that half an hour later was sitting in
A bike cafe, because he's a
in
biker as well.
Motorbikers, yeah. And he's a
And-
motorbiker. He's
and
a
he's-
Dean rider.
and he's having desserts and he's having drinks and he's having a good old chat with them and everything
Subhanallah.
while we're hustling it out there, riding 20 miles up and down these hills, trying to get to him somehow, somewhere or another. And it was like, oh my God, what a day. How do you explain this to someone? What
So
kind
we
of
get a
day we had?
puncher, no puncher kit. Pull out the inner tube and
Find the puncher.
find the puncher, pull the tube, tie a knot in it, shoved it back in, pumped it, and it worked.
Wow.
Quick fix, brother.
Wow.
Another one.
Desperate
somebody gives us a tube
measures,
for another
desperate
puncher.
needs.
There's one tube that was an
Yeah, we had
underneath,
one
right?
tube.
So this rim's actually quite deep because it's quite a deep rim in that. But what happens is the valve, when you buy the tubes, you have to buy them at the right length. So this was a short one, and literally all you could see was about 4 or 5 mil, but there wasn't enough for the pump to go on there. So we had to try and work out a way how we're going to get this pump on there and whatnot, right?
Me and Saf, right, we're sitting there chilling and we're like, bruv, if anyone can,
T-can.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar.
That's become my motto since like seeing like how we put this podcast together. Alhamdulillah.
you know what, Alhamdulillah, T is one of those. So me and Saf,
Blessed.
Alhamdulillah.
we're just
Where are we putting mine?
sitting there relaxing. We're like, not even a worry in the world. 'cause
We were
know-
contemplating, looking at the situation, analyzing, saying, look, subhanallah, everything's stacked up against us. And I swear to you, you know what? At no point did I doubt Allah's help is near.
Ameen.
We just sat there, observed, under
We
pressure.
were laughing through it, bro. We were laughing
Yeah.
through it. And one of the cyclists, yeah, I ain't going to mention no names, he's a bit on the serious side. And it's like, boys, we got to get a move on. We're like,
Chill out, man.
Just relax.
Just relax, man. I came to ride, man. I wanted to do 100 miles today, man. 10,000 feet, man. So,
Subhanallah, check
I
this
love the
out.
best of plans.
Check
Just
this
chill
out.
bro.
Check this out. They've broken down at the bottom of the mountain, yeah? Me and Shafiq, I was having a problem with my disc brake. The disc brake was now catching every full turn. It would catch on the brake pad, yeah? And this had been going on for miles. And we're riding in mountains. And psychologically, it causes drag, but psychologically, it started to affect me in the sense that now I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I'm saying to myself, that disc is causing me problems. It's causing me to slow down. I'm not performing as well as I should be doing because of that disc. I got this chain of thought in my mind. And the more I think about it, the difficult the ride
And the more you convince yourself, right?
I make believe.
I'm like that.
Make believe, yeah?
I'm very weak-willed.
So, subhanallah, me and Shaf fall at the back of the group. The rest of the team have just powered off. We've done like some 25% elevation. And subhanallah, normally I'm not shy of a challenge, but on this occasion, it blew the socks off me, man.
It looks like, if you look at the protractor, it's like a 60-degree angle, basically, of road.
Blew
That's-
the
that's-
socks.
you know, so it's
blew the
literally- it's like
socks.
Subhanallah.
This is crazy.
So- So these guys, they've started breaking away now, yeah?
Yeah.
As they've broken away, we've gone around the bend and Shaf's like, bruv, do you want to see to that disc? I was like, all right, sweet. Whilst we were riding, I goes, T, man, something's catching on this disc. What's going on? He said, bro, unloosen your quick release, reset the wheel, put it back in its position, inshallah, it'll be fine. So now there's where they've broken away, it was like, all right, you know what, the group's broken away. It's only us two now. They're all together. We're together. Let's fix this problem. Yeah? So we've gone around a bend. We found a little spot. SubhanAllah, turned the bike upside down, took the wheel off, put the wheel back on, and started testing to see if it was catching. It was catching. And now we're trying to pinpoint when the disc is catching the pad, so we're trying to manipulate it like with our hands. We had no tools. So we're bending and we're like, oh yeah, that's the noise. And then the noise is fading slowly. We got it to the best we could by eye and by ear. We get back on the bike. These guys are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I can imagine now.
Because they're going up. We're at the back. You can't look back. You're going to roll back down the hill. So everyone is now together, but everyone's struggling on their own going up. They're up, gone, out of sight. Out of sight. And then we fix the disc. We get going again. And subhanAllah, they are nowhere to be seen. Because now, what goes up must come
Down.
So subhanAllah, now, surely after hardship comes.
Yes.
So we've gone to the top.
Give us another one. We're getting good at this.
We can't give them to you all at once. Yeah. One at a time. Got to the top. And now, subhanAllah, we're coming down. We get down to the bottom.
It says subhanallah coming down is one, by the way.
Allahu Akbar. That's
Allah
yeah.
Akbar going up.
Subhanallah coming down.
And I'll tell you something, brother, yeah. As Allah be my witness, it's so easy to forget to say subhanallah.
Excitement.
Especially with the fresh days, first days of, when you first
You
start
know
cycling. You get to the top, you're crying to Allah. Ya Allah, please, oh Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. That, honestly, you just want all the help you can get, and only Allah can help you when you're going up, when you're first starting to do your climbing. And the minute when you're fresh, when it's new to
When
start
you're
going
coming
down, you're just like,
We did it.
Yeah. You know what? Subhanallah.
There's nothing I can't do.
Subhanallah. One day our Amir pulled us aside. He goes, boys, you know what? When you're in pain, you're calling on your Lord, yeah?
Yeah,
You know what? When Allah gives you ease, you should be saying shukr of Allah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And subhanallah, when he did say it, it just sank in because it was like, you know what? What can you say to that?
Yeah,
What-
I think we all get at that, don't we? Like when we need Allah's help, we do anything and everything. We make so much dua to Him, and then as soon as He gives us what we ask for, it's almost like we forget.
That's
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Subhanallah.
So human nature is a funny thing, man.
Guys, so this year, 2019, you guys are inshallah going to go to do the rise of Hajj, tour the Hajj. How many riders are going?
8 riders.
8 riders. And is there so if a person was listening to this podcast and they were like, you know what, I'm motivated, I've been riding like for years, I think I can hack this. Would a person be able to join now? Is it too late?
It's too late to join now.
Okay.
But inshallah, Basically, all we need to see, because we're looking to set this up to do it in such a way that it happens every year.
Okay.
So it gives everyone an opportunity.
Sure.
Someone from the group, like maybe JD, maybe Safdar, maybe myself, would go again next year. And the year after, someone from the group, the commitment they have to make is that if they came this year, whoever comes out of the 8 people, that one of us would definitely be going on to next year.
We'll organise it in a way where
So,
we'll
yeah.
make sure that everything's in place, someone's with them, that they'll get there.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is pave that path, make all the contacts, and get it obviously done in such a way that basically, if people want to do it, all they need to do is download this app, Strava application, basically on your mobile phones. Everyone's got mobile phone nowadays. Download the Strava app, and just whatever rides you do, just document your rides. So once you've got your rides documented, when we interview people, because it will be an interview process. This time,
Yeah, it has
by
to
Allah,
be.
the people it kind of just came together.
Alhamdulillah.
We got people who never rode a bike before in their life. Kazi, yeah?
Yeah.
Didn't ever ride a bike. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden we said, right, okay, get a bike and now get a road bike and now just get out there. And he's been getting out there. Alhamdulillah, he's doing good. So the thing is when you want something that badly, in fact, when you want something, you ask Allah for it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it to you. If it's good for you, always ask, if it's good for me, let me have it, Ya Allah, give it to me. And if it's bad for me, Ya Allah, take it away from me. And alhamdulillah, beautiful dua. And at the same time, it's just blessed, bro. Because the group that we're going with this time, by Allah, bro, it's a calling. Hajj is a calling by Allah. You can't, there's people I met in Saudi Arabia who've been there 20 plus years, yet they only live a stone throw away from the Kaaba. They still haven't even done Umrah, let alone Hajj.
SubhanAllah.
Because it's a calling.
So that's one way people can people can look out for you look out for you guys for kind of future Hajj rides. And what if people are listening to this and they want to be able to help in other ways? Is there any way that people can help you financially? Is there any way people can support?
So basically, I think one thing that we haven't touched on, alhamdulillah, the Tour de Hajj is cycling. There's one half of it, but inshallah, part of this, we're trying to raise £500,000.
Okay.
And inshallah, to raise the £500,000 is for infrastructure projects. So alhamdulillah, like, Safda's grandma's close to him, your granddad's close to me. I had my auntie, my mum's sister was very close to me. And inshallah, Asad Gajari, I want to build her a masjid. So inshallah, it's amazing. Again, I went to my family and I was like, we had the meeting with Penny Appeal and I was like, look, I want to build a masjid for my Hala. And Hala means mum's sister, right? Mm-hmm. And so I went back to my family. I was like, raising £20,000 is going to be hard. So I was like, I didn't even tell my family that I'm doing the Tour de Hajj. I was just like, I want to build this masjid. Let me just feel it out, what they're feeling. I was like, I want to build a masjid and I was speaking to both my mum and my mum's younger sister. And when I said I want to build a masjid, I was like, before I even finished, my youngest auntie was like, I'll give £1,000. And then my mum was like, I'll give £1,000. And then all my sisters, younger cousin sisters, were like, I'll give 500. And all of a sudden, I'm at like £8,000. I've got £12,000 to raise. I was like, alhamdulillah. So when we went to Penny Appeal, we said, look, the projects we want are infrastructure projects because, we want to build them in the name of our loved ones and we want them to be there when we're gone. Alhamdulillah, doing response projects is as important. But we wanted to, because we've done, alhamdulillah, response work before, giving jumpers, food and whatever. But we wanted to do infrastructure projects where we provide education, water and a place of worship. So we're building 5 model villages in 4 different countries. We're building 2 in Pakistan, 1 in Sri Lanka, 1 in South Africa, so Sri Lanka, 2 in Pakistan, Uganda's the last one. So anyone that wants to donate will have, we've got the link going live very soon. Probably this week. I can probably give it to you. You can probably put it in the bio or something.
Yeah, you can give the link now anyway. It doesn't matter.
So it's justgiving/campaign/Tour de Hajj where they can donate towards these amazing projects. And 2 things that we were very adamant on, and I think it's just because of the way we're built, is one thing is 100% donation. And the next thing is that we've taken a personal responsibility over the money that people give us, because one half is going to be doing the Hajj ride and getting there, but the other part is we will actually be going out to these countries and making sure that the work's done.
That's amazing.
And
ongoing as well. So every
because
year.
We need to carry on doing this project because there's expenses that come from running a school.
Yes, of course.
So alhamdulillah, you set up Freshly Grounded, and you talk about your Gambia project where you went out there and you part. I watched those videos. Alhamdulillah, that inspired me. So just that one thing alone
Wow.
shows the success and how alhamdulillah, may Allah make it more successful for you. That Freshly Grounded has worked, and and that's what we're trying to do as well. So we're gonna go out there, help build them. Even if we have to lay the bricks, we'll lay the bricks. But we want to make sure and give ourselves confidence that the people money have entrusted us with is actually there, and the projects are live, happening.
right
People
way.
are benefiting from it. So that's the second part to us riding out there for charity and making sure that these projects are up and running. And people, we're looking for sponsorships at the moment. You get a budget given to you by a charity to do the project, but it's not enough to cover the whole thing. So we will be looking for sponsorship. Anyone that wants to sponsor, obviously I'll give you my details. You can put them in the bio as well, and then people can contact me or you, and then you've got my
If
number.
for instance somebody wanted to say, pledge, say sponsor us with £10,000 for a
Company sponsors.
Give an idea, yeah. So 10 grand would get, say, all of our bikes, most of our kit. Every pedal of the way, the barakah goes to the person who, they're aiding the Hajj to get to Hajj. Every pedal that we do of training. And plus, when we get the bikes back, they'll still be used again.
Look. You know,
It's
people,
so
you know
deep.
how you think about it. I'll tell you how you think about it. Yeah, one Hajj is now what, £6,500.
Yeah.
If a company out there watching, listening, or even if you're listening and you know someone that owns a company, you get a portion of this draw. So one Hajj is £6,000 or £6,500 travel by plane.
Yeah.
You pay £10,000 and you've literally paid for 8 Hajjs.
Subhanallah. That's 8 lots of equipment covered.
And they're cycling there. Every pedal you get rewards for.
Yeah, subhanallah.
So
Times that by 8.
And it's a lot of pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 4,000 miles, 110,000 feet of elevation.
17 countries.
17
tell them the
countries.
countries, man.
Countries, my brother, I have to reel those off. The funny thing is, only till a couple of weeks back, it was going to be 11 countries. And then we had a press conference, and I'd had a conversation with one of the brothers, and I kind of laid it out.
So we
on
didn't
them.
know this. We didn't know this, right? We thought 11 countries, this, that, and then all of a sudden at the press
Allahu
conference,
Akbar.
the person leading the press conference says, T, tell us about the 11 countries you're going through. And T's like,
Well, by the way,
I was sitting down last night and I decided to change the route just a little bit, and we won't be going through 11, we'll be going through 17. And everyone at the press
Subhanallah.
conference
Whoa!
is like,
And I said, no, seriously,
like,
these guys
what?
didn't even know. I was like, right, you get. Oh, sorry, boys.
Wow.
You just see what I got. If you want to read them off, my brother, that's the countries there.
Well, so you guys are going to be riding through UK, France, Germany, Switzerland,
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, yeah.
Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia,
I don't even know how to pronounce that one.
Let me have a look.
Herzegovina.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that even a country? I've never heard of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Serbia, Kosovo,
Yep.
Bulgaria, Greece, Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Okay, so look, what we'll do is we'll make sure we put this link in the bio for the video, and also the bio for the iTunes.
Jazakallah.
And anyone who does want to support, please do. This is such an amazing thing, guys. Jazakallah khair for coming to the podcast today. It's been so inspiring for me.
Who's that? Just getting warmed up, bro.
just like our cycling.
Oh man.
Yeah, but before we go, alhamdulillah,
Jazakallah khair, my brother.
as
Really thank you for that.
behalf of Tour de Hajj, obviously we know Freshly Grounded, we like you, and inshallah Tour de Hajj will pay for it, that we want to bring you out to Turkey to film part 2 of the podcast.
Oh, subhanallah.
That's our little gift to you.
Our love.
Allahu
And I
Akbar.
would have told you before, but then you were like, boys, let's not discuss anything. Let's
Oh, wow.
go natural and let's go into it. So
No way.
inshallah, Tour de Hajj want to pay for your ticket to Turkey, which is like a halfway point, nice little country,
Allahu Akbar.
for you to come out there, film part 2 of the podcast, and inshallah part
Istanbul,
3,
inshallah.
actually part 2 you'll have all the riders there, so you can do what you
Subhanallah.
want. And then
Subhanallah.
inshallah part 3, when we come back, we can do something. So I don't know if you had a 3-part event or whatever you want to call this.
Seems like a
Podcast.
trilogy,
Yeah.
We're
man.
making history.
No,
We're
done
making
deal.
a legacy.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah
Allahu
khair.
Got it.
Akbar.
That's it.
Jazakallah.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah,
Really
definitely. I'm
appreciate
very
it. Thank you very
excited.
much,
I was
brother.
actually going to say
Jazakallah.
that I would love for you guys to come back for after you've done the trip, so we
Inshallah.
can hear the stories. But alhamdulillah, if we're able to, and barakallahu feek, wow, if we're able to document it halfway through and then document it at the end,
Hopefully
that'd
the
be
viewers
amazing.
will be
Inshallah.
looking forward to it, man.
Very much
Best
so.
story and the best podcast is one if you've got a good start, good middle. and a
Yeah,
good
exactly,
ending, right?
exactly. This is a
You
start.
can't get better ending than
you know
Medina.
what? Before we go, I think this is a brilliant
Subhanallah.
platform. Alhamdulillah, as Tour de Hajj, we've got 2 support drivers, right? But we're looking for someone who is up for doing the what is it, marketing?
Media guy,
The media guy.
social media guy.
So someone that
Is that to do the vlogs and
yeah,
stuff?
to do
Yes.
the
Yeah.
vlogs.
And then how do they upload them? How were they doing last time? Just as and when?
We were just sending them via internet or whatever, and then they were going to a brother who basically then
In the
just put-
UK?
In the UK, yeah.
So if
Oh, so
anyone-
are you looking for someone in the UK to do that?
No, we're looking for someone. This is an
Preferably to-
opportunity for someone, student, whatever. Obviously, inshallah, we'll look at their work as well. But someone in the UK who would like to come with us along the journey, 17 countries, and get a Hajj out of it.
Allahu
And how would they go? Would they go by bike?
Support
they'll
vehicle.
be
in
the
the
support
transport
vehicle.
vehicle, in the support vehicle.
They'll be riding in comfort.
Guys, can I just say something? Yeah,
Yeah.
that you putting that out there is dangerous because you're gonna get. I'm telling you, when this podcast go out, you're gonna get hundreds of people saying that will do it.
Inshallah.
No problem.
JD's
bro.
going to put his telephone number on it. Put his telephone. You haven't got one. Put his telephone.
How can they
number
get in
on it.
contact? If you're saying, look, you're getting a Hajj out of it and you get documented,
Yes, my brother.
we've got amazing creative people. who listen to
Inshallah.
this
That's what I'm
podcast.
saying. And you know what? If you want to come, bro, then you're more than welcome to. as well.
Allah
But I don't know if your
Akbar.
missus going to let you go for what, 2.5, 3 months.
Subhanallah. Do you know what? I can never say no to a Hajj. So inshallah, let's
Yeah.
make
Ah,
whoa. I'm not saying yes.
Inshallah.
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 We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's look at the logistics.
Allah is the best of
inshallah.
planners, but the offer is subhanallah
Wow.
first refusal. Brother has to look at his logistics, his
We've
got to look at
dynamics,
logistics, man,
his
inshallah.
everything.
He could do his own podcast every single Friday, and he don't even need no
Subhanallah.
one.
If
I can't
it is
even- I-
destined and it's written,
Yeah,
brother will
inshallah.
be with us physically,
Subhanallah.
mentally, and
I think
spiritually.
I
But
think it's a good opportunity for anyone listening that wants to be part of it. And
Allahu Akbar.
how it'll work is the support vehicle goes up to Turkey, but as soon as we get to Turkey, we get a ferry over or a plane over. T knows better. Ferry over.
By
and then
land.
from the other side. But when we get into Egypt, we already have another support vehicle there.
local support.
So they'll always be in a car. And alhamdulillah, you know what? I think the brothers are more than hospitable to look after this person. And inshallah, amazing experience for them. There'll never be a time where they'll sit with someone that they don't know and they won't be able to carry out a conversation from all their experience.
Subhanallah.
Okay, takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Wow, I'm still taken aback. I don't even know how to end this podcast. Wow.
We just get warmed up. You know what? When we do 50 miles, we've just done 10 miles.
Yeah, I know.
Is it over already, guys?
Some amazing stories, man.
I can't I can't believe kind of like first of all how amazing the stories already have been so far. I'm so much looking forward to meeting you guys. Inshallah, the next time we meet will be in Turkey.
Inshallah.
I'm so much looking forward to
Inshallah,
getting that episode and to meeting you guys.
Meet Mr. Erdogan as well, you know. I don't know if you're a fan.
You never know.
That
You
is
never
Now
know.
we're working on it.
Anything's
We're working on it.
Are you?
Inshallah.
Do you watch
Anything's
it?
possible.
I've seen like the first episode.
I don't.
That's
me
it.
and
It
you
was
are the
too long.
same. Me and
Yeah, too long. Yeah, inshallah, we'll see you guys at your halfway point. I'm sure the listeners here are going to be so intrigued. I wanting to listen to it. And anything that we as Freshly Grounded can do to help support this, inshallah, we definitely
And
will.
also, all the listeners that are listening, you know, you're more than welcome to come out into Turkey. You know, some people go for family holiday, and you know what? Even get on their bike from the start of
Yeah,
Turkey.
ride
and
Turkey
ride with
with
us till the end of Turkey.
Okay.
Come to ELM Mosque.
East
ride from
London Masjid.
East London Masjid. Come all the way to Paris with us. We ain't stopping. No.
You got
London-
London. You got the
London-
London
London
to
to Brighton,
Brighton,
yeah.
which
London
is pretty much done every year,
June 7th.
and it's a calendar date for most cyclists. So London to Brighton, London to Paris, yeah, and then there's segments in the journey which will be up on our
Turkey would be the
social
best
media.
one.
Turkey
Yeah,
would
Turkey's the
be
best one.
yeah, where
Istanbul
people can
Antalya,
join
basically.
and show moral support and just be part of the journey.
So you guys are setting off when?
June 7th.
June the 7th, Friday, June the 7th.
So that's like literally 2 days after Eid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much,
do Eid, and it's the first Jummah
Yeah, we're gone.
after Eid. Then inshallah from
Then we'll make the next Eid in Saudi Arabia.
from East London,
Oh,
from East
inshallah.
London we ride to Reading.
Inshallah.
So you leave from ELM again this time?
That's
we're
right,
leaving
yeah.
them,
Because
It's got a
subhanAllah, the
lot
congregation
there.
is
And
10,000.
Yeah, mashallah, they're
They're very
Off-
generous. They're
off-
very kind, and there's 10,000 people. One brother said this to me. Don't quote me. I may be wrong, but I trust the brother. He said, "Look, it's the biggest congregation in Europe. Yeah, so 10,000 worshippers in one place. So subhanallah, with their support, their du'as, that's where we're setting off from.
Du'as
Inshallah.
go a long way.
Du'as,
Yeah.
subhanallah.
Brothers, it's been emotional, and we'd just like to say thank you so much for having us. First cut and only cut. So if we've said or done anything to upset or offend anyone,
You haven't. Not me anyway.
We sincerely ask for your forgiveness, but do support us.
Pray for us.
Pray for us. Keep us in your du'as.
It starts with a
There's
prayer,
no like
man.
that,
Yeah,
man.
everything started with
Yeah.
a prayer. Yeah, keep us in your prayers. Keep us in your du'as. Keep us in your thoughts. Everybody has a capacity of doing something. So whatever Allah has blessed you with, utilize those capabilities that Allah's given you. So
Whether it's a share
Jazakallah
on
khair.
Facebook or
Anything.
Instagram,
Even a
or
smile,
just
man.
telling someone, absolutely. If it
Yeah.
puts a smile on someone's face, it's sadaqah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Look,
So
I'm gonna
sunnah.
I'm gonna figure out a way that as Freshly Grounded we could do something to support you guys. So leave that with me and let's figure out a way. But definitely
Sure.
at least for this episode we'll make sure we have all of your guys' links in the descriptions and we'll urge the brothers and sisters to help and support in whatever way they can.
Jazakallah.
I think it's a beautiful project. Like I said, that when I first heard about it in 2017, it kind of it took my attention, and now hearing the story from you guys is something else, and
Subhanallah.
it is actually.
Inshallah,
it's
you're part of
amazing.
history, bro.
You guys started it off, man.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
You know what?
Subhanallah.
This is
Subhanallah.
you guys kind of mentioned that you're only just getting started, and had it not been like 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday, I would have been like, let's just keep going, man.
Inshallah.
But alhamdulillah, I also want to say a big jazakallah khair to you brothers, because you kind of last minute accepted to do this podcast,
No,
and
I
you
appreciate
guys
it.
Allah
came
is
from
the
outside
best
of
of
London.
planners, and that's
So-
the Tour de Hajj.
Big
Allah is
respect
the
to Freshly Grounded.
Barakallah
All the
feek,
way,
jazakallah
all the
khair.
way.
Really appreciate it.
Brothers, it's been an absolute pleasure, and inshallah we'll see you guys in Turkey.
Peace.
Inshallah, ameen.
Inshallah.
Assalamu
Part 2.
alaikum.
Watch out.